iSCAR, oh my gosh, I butchered that already. Okay, restart, hold up. iSCAR RaceLab's Cup Series, Max Speed TV presents you here tonight, the penultimate event in my opinion, because this event is going to be fairly long. We're going to be kicking back and watching these cars go around this 1.5 mile circuit for 200 laps, but in the meantime of that, thank you all for tuning on here tonight. My name is Ezeckiel Reyes.
And I'm Dewey Schramm, round number 11. I think this is round number 11 here at Charlotte, something like that. It's the longest race of the entire iSCAR winter season by mileage. Of course, the Daytona 250, second to this event tonight. Half the distance of the normal Coca-Cola 600, but 300 miles still a very long race.
Yeah, that's right. 300 miles of racing. 200 laps going to be logged into the book. It's the longest race this season. Actually, it's going to be the second ever time we've run a 300 mile event. Last season we crowned, I think, Derek M. Smith the winner of the inaugural event. But here tonight, it'll be a fun one on seeing who's going to become the second winner of this of the 300.
Yeah, and this is one of those races where you've got to be more, more conservative, I would say, because of how long this race is. So, I would say try not to be too aggressive early, because with a 300-mile race, I'm sure we're going to have cautions at some point in tonight's race. This thing being 300 miles is a good chance it stretches past midnight here on the East Coast. So it might be a long night for some people. It could be a frustrating night for some people. But if you try to keep your nose clean, at least in the early portion of the race, you should be able to set yourself up for a pretty good finish.
Yeah, that's right, and this is in the case of survival. You gotta put yourself in position in the end to have a shot for the win, and if you're not there toward the end, obviously your chances of winning out the door, and chances of getting a lot of points as well here tonight. I think there's a total of 58 people here tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh the iRacing page, and it looks like there's 58 people registered for this event, so that's 58 points on the line, not including bonus points. And speaking of points, we're gonna go ahead and shoot it up on the screen. Christopher Wildnut, number 41, who won yesterday, he is on top of the points.
Yeah, that 41's been borderline unstoppable here this season. Picked up the ARCA Championship just a few short days ago, and just mentioned one last night at New Hampshire, so it's going to take quite a bit to bring down Christopher Weil, but his teammate Nick Miller only 5 points back, and William Schmidt only 19 points back. So there are some guys in reaching distance of that 41 here, but the main focus has got to be towards that chase bubble as you inch closer to that chase starting. 19 points currently separating Casey Drake and David Bachman for the last position.
Yeah, that's right. Last season, this race was actually the cutoff before the chase, but now it's been pushed, looks like a few weeks forward. And here tonight, a lot of points on the line, and not a chase spot really on the verge of last chance or anything like that. But for Parker White, Aaron Brown, Casey Drake, David Bachman, Josh Patterson, Brody Gardner, their chance to pick up some points and push toward a chase burst is right now.
Yeah, so that will definitely be something to watch again as we inch closer to that chase cutoff. Just about 30 seconds remaining here in practice. Parker White in the 095 currently tops on the speed charts. So after this practice is over, we'll get into the qualifying session, which is more important tonight because of 58 people in the session. That means we're going to have an LCQ, and it's going to have 20 cars in it. So qualifying at least 38th is going to be of the essence here as we start qualifying in just about 30 seconds.
Yep, that is right. And as well as we got to mention, we only had like 2 people in the LCQ yesterday, but here tonight, a total contrast to that. So hopefully we'll get on a show for that small 8-lap stint. Congratulations to the 095 Parker White for winning the practice session. We're going to scoot ourselves to the side, though, and play the national anthem. So rise up, remove your hats as we salute our nation's colors. We welcome everybody back here live for the iSCAR RaceLab's Cup Series, round number 11, going to go into the books. Currently qualifying underway as of right now. Drivers getting their fastest two of the night. And hopefully going to log in a top 38 spot, because if they don't, they're going to have to race themselves through that last chance qualifier. In the meantime of that, times are being logged in. Dylan Basin, never mind that. Brody Gardner in the 55 holds the top spot.
Yeah, these times are going to fluctuate quite a bit over the next 2 minutes and about 45 seconds here as more and more guys start to put laps down. And as you mentioned before the break, qualifying in the top 38 is pretty much all you're going to have to worry about, at least for the immediate future, I suppose. As long as you make your way into the race, you have a chance, of course, at winning it. But if you're outside that top 38, you've got to go through that dreaded LCQ, which is going to have 20 cars in it tonight. So if there's any race you want to avoid getting into the LCQ, this is the one you don't want to be in.
Yep, that is right. So I think that's 14 or 15 cars that are going to get eliminated after 8 laps of racing. And for those 14-ish cars, their nights are going to be done very, very early.
Yeah, and again, this might be a really long night in terms of the race, so it might be even more frustrating if you miss out in this race or if you end up wrecking out early. So be sure to, again, keep your nose clean here tonight. Carson Poindexter in the 21 to the top of the charts with just over a minute and a half remaining. Hunter Johnson in the 12, currently next to him on the provisional front row. But again, still plenty of time left for some people to put some solid lap times down. And we'll see where everyone shakes themselves out.
Yeah, it looks like David Bachman, Blaze Crawford, Mark Frimpong have yet to log in laps. As I say that, now they're being posted on the leaderboard. You see,
Middle to the top of the charts.
This is the 404 of Blaze Crawford. He works himself to the start-finish line. Michael Bracero, nice run by him. He'll qualify in third.
Look at those top 3 spots. Carson Poindexter 1/1000th of a second behind Nick Miller. Bracero 2 1,000ths behind Miller. Christopher Weil 9 1,000ths behind Miller. So it really is a game of inches so far here at Charlotte, where the top 4 spots are separated by probably, less time than it takes for me to even say a single word of the sentence I just said.
Yeah, that play is I think coming down to experience here at Charlotte. This is one of the free tracks on the iRacing service, and everybody's familiarized with it on the street stock. And as well as some other vehicles as well. So I think this track, everybody knows the best. And my goodness, we do have a lot of people in that LCQ. But this track, you can basically just hop onto the service and run some laps around it and easily get the hang of it. So Charlotte isn't as hard of a track as some people presume it to be. But it's a fast enough racetrack in which if you do make a mistake, you are going to lose a lot of track position.
Agreed. And that is it here for qualifying. And we'll see who just missed out in qualifying here for the LCQ. Hopefully for Bachman's sake, he made it in, because again, he's the first car currently out of the chase. And it looks like John Cannizzaro is going to be first, so he's 39th fastest here tonight. Colton Zimmer will roll off next to him in second here for this LCQ.
Garrett Hess and AJ Bain in the 777 and number 8. They're going to round out row number 2.
Row 3, bit surprised to see Casey Drake in the 87 back here. Kenneth Bueno in the 117 rolls off next to him in 6th.
Tyler Connors, Trey Shuttlesworth had a nice night at the Xfinity Series at, I think, Michigan. At 119 is going to be in the LCQ, unfortunately.
And rounding out the top 10 here for this LCQ, Henry Tabor and Andy McDowell in the 16 and the 20. Here's Cade McKee, Blaze Crawford next row.
Yeah.
Nunez just coming back.
Yeah, and you're going to see some familiar paint schemes getting run around the racetrack, because tonight is Throwback Day for the Cup Series. So some schemes you'll see on the real life side of things, slash some former schemes that some people used to run will get ran here for tonight. So some cool things and tidbits that some drivers, some fans may want to watch.
Yeah, and of course, a bit of a monetary compensation, of course, to whoever gets voted on as having the best throwback. So we've already handed out 2 of those so far this weekend, and we'll have tonight and tomorrow to hand out 2 more. So we'll see who wins in that vote, and we'll be able to see who advances from this LCQ. Top 5 out of the 20 cars here tonight will move on.
And those top 5 are going to race for another 200 laps, so
yeah,
they got to log in 8 here tonight and 200 later on, so their work isn't cut out once they're done and qualified in for this event. But in the meantime of that, it looks like we're starting to roll off here for the pace lap with the 74 of John Cannizzaro will lead the field coming to the green.
Yeah, that means, of course, the 39th fastest car, meaning he was the first car to not qualify in to the main event. So perhaps a bit of disappointment, but a golden opportunity as well to still get yourself in, since you're going to be leading this entire field for the next 8 laps. Colton Zimmer in the 09, again, another one that has had some decent runs lately, but finds himself mired back in this last chance qualifier. So we'll see if he can get himself through. And anybody else in this field, if you're starting like 15th or back, it's going to be quite a challenge to get yourself into that top 5. But you're probably going to have to rely on a wreck or 2 happening if you want to get yourself that far up.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully these people don't run into each other for that 5th spot. I hate to see some bumping runs, or not bumping runs, but spinning wins for that 5th position. But on the meantime of that pace car is going to scoot itself on the pit road. 8 laps going to go underway to decide the top 5 who will move themselves on to the 200 lap event. Glad you could tune us in here for tonight's Max Speed TV event. LCQ going to go underway. Pace car is in. Cannizzaro will lead the field.
And the green flag is out here at Charlotte. 8 laps to determine who will be the last 5 cars to advance on into this main event. Look at the 87 of Casey Drake trying to waste no time to get down to the bottom side of Garrett Hess, but thinks better of trying to go down into the grass to make that pass.
Yeah, I just want to tuck yourself in line. He's in the 5th spot, so maybe he wants to get a bit of a cushion to work himself inside that top 5 a bit deeper. But in the meantime of that, side by side, 2 by 2, I'd say, through the whole entire field as we work into 3 and 4. But a checkup right there as Cannizzaro might adore the 09 just a bit into turn number 3. AJ Bain. Car round.
There they go. It goes. Oh, big hit to the outside wall. Lots of cars involved in this one.
And look how much that really skinnied out the field for AJ Bain. Oh, he's dead sideways. He's got that taken 3 wide. Oh,
stop! There they go again. There's Bain's gonna save it, and I think the other car, that's Bueno, I believe, also saves it. Close call for both of them for sure.
And that puts Trey Shuttlesworth inside this top 5 as Casey Drake works himself to the high side of Garrett Hess. Cade McKee in 6th spot is, I'd say, 5 car lengths back of this, as well as Kenneth Bueno. And unfortunate for Bueno, making contact with that number 8 has lost him a lot of time. Up front, though, a different story. Just top 2 attempt to pull away.
Yeah, and for those top 2, they want to keep seeing what they've already seen. As long as they run single file the way they are, they really don't have any competition in terms of other cars trying to get by them. But actually, this entire top 5 trying to break away a bit, as Shuttlesworth, even though he started in, I believe, 8th, has now gotten himself into that 5th spot. So if these 5 run single file, I think they've got a pretty good chance of just making it in the way they are right now.
But once they go side by side, this is going to give everybody right behind a bit of a hiccup to where they're going to go. So now they go side by side. No, never mind that. Casey Drake completes the pass very efficiently around the 09. So surprised about that. Casey Drake into 2nd place. So not a big hiccup for that 777 and 119. But even though they did go a bit side by side, Cade McKee in the meantime has sort of caught these top 5. And we'll see what Cade could do to work himself inside this.
Oh, AJ Bain around on the inside, or maybe he's just doing donuts down there. Who knows? But he will not be advancing on into the main event tonight. They're side by side for 4th if Casey Drake almost goes around there. But yeah, they're still side by side for 4th, and Cade's there. So this is a side by side battle here for the final transfer spot. Cade McKee and Trey Shuttlesworth trying to figure out who will be the last car in.
Oh, it seems as though Cade couldn't clear for that 5th spot. They're still going to be side by side, and only 3 laps to go this time by, so Cade trying to roll the bottom better than that 119 at the top.
Cade's got to be careful not to hit that apron, though. If he hits the apron, he's going to lose a lot of time. So he wants to hug the bottom as best as he can, but if he even gets a tire on that blue and white stripe, that could spell the end of his night, perhaps.
They're still side by side for that 5th spot.
That's going to come down to the wire. Trey's getting a good run out of turn 2, and he'll clear, actually, for that 5th spot. But Cade's going to have, I believe, a chance here, perhaps out of 4, to try to make that high side work. Here, I think Trey might be trying to block a bit, but coming to the white flag here, Cannizzaro is still out front, but it's still a 3-car battle here for this final spot.
One more lap to go as they work themselves into turn number 1. Cannizzaro has gapped Casey Drake by, I'd say, 5/10, so that top 2 securely in, but it seems as though Trey Shuttlesworth is getting boxed in by the 777 of Garrett Hess. What will Cade McKee do down the back straightaway into 3? Looks like he doesn't have the challenge coming into the corner, so unless the 777 doesn't get a good 3 and 4, the 27's day is going to end very early.
Oh, Casey slipped up, but it's not going to matter. Casey is still going to make it around in 5th. I don't know what just happened to that 87, but still skirts his way in as John Cannizzaro wins the LCQ. So him, Colton Zimmer, Garrett Hess, Trey Shuttlesworth, and Casey Drake, your 5 cars that will advance. And unfortunately for Cade McKee and everybody else, they will be going home early.
Yeah, there's some big names who didn't make it in. Unfortunate for Andy McDowell in the 20, he's not in. Henry Tabor, unfortunately, he's not in.
And McDowell was one of those involved in that first, I think, lap 1 or lap 2 incident on the front stretch. So that ended his chances fairly early. But it is got the little warm-up session here before we go green for probably the next 2 or 3 hours. It's going to be quite a lengthy event here tonight since we're running 300 miles. So again, want to emphasize for all these guys to try to keep your nose clean, especially for the first half of the race. It'd be really frustrating, you know, to get yourself into the race, qualify good, and then end up in a wreck super early where all your hard work goes down the drain. So definitely be conservative and be smart, especially in the early goings here tonight.
That is right. Let's focus in on a couple of throwback schemes. I'm interested to see on what these drivers are running. This is Connor Brennan in the 92. Looks like he's running a Elliott Sadler throwback. 7 of Charlie Byer. Seems as though this is a Tony Stewart throwback.
I believe from 2004. That's an interesting one for Mitch Hobbs. I don't think that scheme ever ran, but it's almost like some old mixed in with the new. That one's pretty spiffy.
Yeah, Dewey's a paint scheme specialist, so he could probably point out things better than I could. But this is for Jack DeAndrea and the 028. Not sure what this is. This seems.
I think that's just an older logo throwback. Those are the Mountain Dew logos I grew up with. The ones here. I know. There's Carson taking an excursion through the grass. I believe this is an old online racing throwback from a while ago for him.
Yep, that's right. I saw a couple of pictures of that earlier. As well as William Schmidt. He too, well, I wouldn't say it's a bit of a throwback, running a Jeffrey Earnhardt paint scheme.
Yeah, only from a couple years ago, but did a really good job recreating it, of course. That's part of the challenge when you do schemes like these is, you know, even taking the time out to put them all together and get everything exactly the way you want it to. Painting is a really cool process, and it can be incredibly satisfying when, you know, you see your finished product, even if you're racing it on track or not. But even doing, you know, design concepts is something I enjoy doing sometimes, and seeing the different schemes that people come up with in these races is one of my favorite things of the whole weekend.
Saw there the 84 of David Bachman. This seems as though Newman throwback.
You know, probably from 02 or so. That's a classic one. Good to see Keplinger back again. Unfortunately for him, he DNQ'd at the Talladega race the other night, but qualified his way into the field tonight, so this will be his first race in quite a while, and we'll see how he can do here over the next 200 laps.
That's right. Rosero, it seems as though Davey Allison throwback. And Corey Long as well. Is that a junior throwback? No, that's not. Is it?
That is. I think that's from '08.
Ah.
I believe. Yeah, it's also kind of funny watching them do this or doing these paint schemes because a lot of them I grew up with as a kid and remember seeing on TV. Like that one, that's the scheme Casey Mears won the Coke 600 in. So a lot of them are cool because they're schemes I used to see all the time. Yeah, these guys have done a pretty good job with all of them.
Dominic Howe running looks like a Swan Energy throwback. Cole Witt?
Yeah, him and I think Parker Kligerman both ran that at some point.
I only know that paint scheme because Kligerman flipped over. Yeah, that's right. It's Peter Kenny.
Yeah, that's a Terry Labonte throwback from the 80s. Peter Kenny, of course, won the Daytona 250, so he's won the other Cup Series and, I guess, endurance race, for lack of a better term, this season. Hopefully he doesn't do that during the race tonight. But we'll see if Peter could potentially go 2 for 2 here in these big endurance races this season with the 250 already under his belt. Here's Blaze McKinney in the 31, but it looks like he's got a custom number enabled here for this race. So yeah, that's the other thing that happens with the throwbacks like this is some people may end up enabling a custom number that's different from the one you'll see on the ticker. So just something to keep in mind as the race goes on, and we'll try to navigate our way through those numbers if it becomes any sort of issue.
Looks like we'll scoot ourselves to the side and go ahead and pull up the grid here for this one. So congratulations to Nick Miller in the number 95. He wins the pole here for tonight alongside the number 21 of Carson Poindexter.
SPM lockout to start tonight's race after a 1-2-3 finish for them last night. Michael Rosero in the 23, solid qualifying run for him in third, and the 1 in that 1-2-3 finish last night, Christopher Weil, will roll off in fourth.
Runner 3 going to be the number 12, Hunter Johnson, most winning iSCAR driver in that 5th spot. Cole Williams in that number 42, still looking for his first win.
Parker White in the 095, good qualifying run for him in 7th. Dylan Basin there in the 08's picked up a few wins recently. He will roll off 8th.
Josh Patterson in the 02, he's been in victory lane a couple of times, but has had a drought currently as of right now. He's been close, but we'll see if we can do here tonight. 55 Brody Garden in the 10th spot. He's picked up multiple wins this season.
Rest of the order shown on the bottom of your screen. Dominic Howe in the 86, just mentioned him, won at the Cup Series race at Kentucky a few months ago, so he's picked up a cup one already. Mentioned Corey Long and William Schmidt there in that warm-up session. Charlie Byer looks like he'll be 21st here tonight to start off as he continued to score away through the field. So there's Keplinger. He'll roll off 26th in his first race. Cody Webster returns here tonight in that 9 car. Good to see him back again. There's Bachman rolling off 31st, so he really needs to have a good finish tonight if he wants to get himself into that 13-car chase.
Here's all the people who work themselves through the LCQ.
And there's Casey Drake rolling off dead last here tonight. And Casey Drake is the car that David Bachman's chasing for that 13th and final spot. So Casey Drake, if he had missed the race tonight, that would have been extremely detrimental for him in the points, as, again, he comes into tonight 13th with only about a 19-point cushion on that 84 car. So it's a good thing Casey made it in, because it could have potentially just saved him a chase spot.
Yep, that is right. And here we go. We're going to roll off for this 200 lap event. Sit back and kick back as we watch these drivers log in 200 here for tonight. Gonna be a long one, as he said, from start to finish. And
taking the green. Looks like 10:06 p.m. tonight for the start, and again, this thing's probably going to go well past midnight tonight. So yeah, be prepared to sit back and enjoy it for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, that's right. Oh man. Hopefully, for these first 100 laps, I expect everybody to be laying back, but I mean, based on the previous iSCAR races, we've had multiple lap 1 wrecks, so no, don't want to jinx it, but, you know, knock on wood.
Yeah, it could go either way. I mean, it would make sense for guys to lay back, but we shall see. Pace car will scoot itself down onto pit road. Nick Miller and Carson Poindexter lead us to the green flag. We're underway here at Charlotte for 200 laps and 300 miles.
Everybody looks even as they work themselves into turns number 1 and 2. Williams will find a spot to the inside, right behind the 095 of Parker White. Never minded that, 02 of Josh Patterson. Maybe want to shove his nose at the low side. Can't make much of it as they go side by side down the back straightaway. Up though, look at pit road is a busy place as multiple people are pit starting.
That's a lot of people pit starting, and I don't blame them one bit for pit starting. It could perhaps maybe save them some trouble of an early wreck. And speaking of an early wreck, that was almost one right there, as that car was super sideways out of turn 4, but thankfully that mystery car saved it.
Rosero into second place. He's had a nice qualifying effort and has now taken advantage of it. A lot of scrambling toward the back. One car stuck in the middle. That's the 55 of Brody Garner. We'll look up front, though. More scrambling as for this 4th spot. Hunter Johnson works himself into the top 5. Parker White also following in pursuit. They're still just about 3 wide off the corner.
I think somebody may have scraped the wall out of turn 4, but they're still pretty dicey, even though it's only lap 3. And again, you do not want to be the car that either causes it or ends up in an early race wreck. You don't want to end up, driving around with perhaps some engine damage for the whole race either. That would be extremely frustrating as well.
Diallo works himself down low, 3 wide as Byers trying to pinch the 79 of William Schmidt, who's dead sideways.
And Charlie almost gets the wall, and actually someone else just got the wall a bit further back, but 3 wide at Charlotte is very hard to do, and thankfully they just did it without wrecking, but that was extremely close and could have been bad for probably 10 or 15 people.
Those pit starters look like are already visible from the leader's eye. Nick Miller in that number 95 is going to have a bit of aerodynamics he's going to have to deal with as 08 of Dylan Basin gets a bit sideways off the corner. Clip the apron there just a bit. In my opinion, I think that the newly painted blue line is a bit distorting. You could put your left sides on that blue line, but you don't want to go too below it.
Yeah, I didn't think you could. I thought if you put your tires down there, it would just instantly kill your car and shoot you up the track. But with that information, I guess that makes it a bit easier for these guys to get around the track. And Carson Poindexter looks like he's going to do exactly that, try to regain that 2nd spot away from Rosero.
Poindexter qualified in 2nd place, so move himself to the low side. Rosero's going to file in line. Hunter Johnson can't really get the opportunity to pass him, so Rosero's going to be back in 3rd for right now. All in the meantime of that, outside this top 10, a bit of a battle as Diallo is still plowing through the field on the low side. Now works himself to the underside of, looks like the 52 of Shane DeMantova.
Byer in that mix as well in that 7 car. Miller still up front here, has led all 6 of the laps run so far. And you see, I mentioned again, those 2 pit starters further up. Yeah, they're almost a lap down, but it looks like their pace is almost equal to that of these leaders. So I don't think they've actually lost that much time in terms of potentially having to worry about going a lap down. Side by side for 3rd. Here comes Johnson trying to make that high side work on Rosero. And I think he's going to get him at the line, but I don't know if he'll be able to complete that pass quite yet.
Poindexter got a nice run off of 4. We'll see what he could do with the 95 and Nick Miller. Poindexter, he peeked himself up high, but Miller tagged the apron. They might stall out down the backstretch, so we'll see what the 3rd place car does. It looks like Hunter gets boxed in line, and Rosero really has nowhere to go.
Still side by side in the 3, though, for 3rd. Rosero's doing a really good job of trying to maintain that bottom side. Look at the 095 of Parker White. He wants to stay in this battle as well. And all 5 of these guys are under a blanket.
Wow, what a move!
A daring move there by Hunter. Picks up 3rd and might get 2nd as well here in the bottom.
Oh, looks like he couldn't carry the run with that aggressive move to the low side. That swing to the low side lost him a bit of ground, and now Parker White works himself to the high side as Christopher Weil works himself down low of Rosero. So Rosero's dropping now as we're now on lap number 9. So for the 95 and Miller, even though he was a bit loose, he likes all this battling in his mirror.
Yeah, the more they battle side by side, the less, of course, they have in terms of an ability to get by him. The more they're side by side, that's all Nick wants to see here on lap number 10. Looks like they're mostly single file again here in the top 10, besides Wow and Rosero, but now that 41 will file back in line.
It looks like everybody is just trying to get into a rhythm. The only side-by-side action I see is 2x2 in turns number 3 and 4. This is the 028 of Jack DeAndrea, 79 William Schmidt. It looks like the double 7 of Liam Sheen, as well as Eric Keplinger in this area, but they all got to file themselves in line and try to get into a rhythm. But up front, though, well, it seems as though that second place battle is starting to heat up.
It's a good run for the 60 so far. Again, the first time he's run in quite a while, still in the top 20 after these first 11 laps, so we'll see where he ends up finishing here tonight. Good battle going here. I believe that is Blaze McKinney and Connor Brandon, the 92. One of the first starts that Connor's made all season, sporting an Elliott Sadler throwback here tonight.
There's a couple people who are sporting an Elliott Sadler throwback. You see another one right there. I think it was... Oh, no, that was still Connor. It was somebody else. I forgot who it was, but I'll have to find out as we progress with the night. Now lap 13 into the books. Nick Miller looks like has pulled himself a 1/10 lead, or a 15/10 lead over at second place. Parker Whiten, though, he's looking in and out, trying to find his way around that number 21.
Yeah, the 095 has gotten himself nicely into that third spot. So he's having one of the best nights out of anybody so far in this early going. And he's had quite a few really good runs the last couple weeks, but hasn't quite been able to reach victory lane. Just like the car he's attempting to pass right now, that 21 of Carson Poindexter. He's another one that's had a flurry of good runs the last couple weeks, but just hasn't quite been able to get to victory lane. So we'll see if either of those two could potentially get the job done tonight.
Yeah, for Parker White, he actually finished second to Logan Clampett at Iowa. Had a really, really nice run there, but unfortunately couldn't seal the deal as Clampett pulled away. And Parker, he just needs to find the right time to get himself into victory lane. As here you go, third place. Hunter Johnson works himself down low.
Good move there for the 12 and give that 12 the position, at least for the moment. But I think Carson's going to have a solid run down the backstretch, and with some drafting help from the 095 in front of him. But now Parker White will move down to the bottom side again. So I think Hunter might get this position here through the tri-oval.
You mentioned draft. These spoilers are huge, and they're running about, I'd say, 170-ish, 180-ish on the racetrack. As you see him move there right behind. Wild works himself to the low side of Rosero, who chases him up the racetrack. So these cars are starting to get tight. But you mentioned the draft and how much dirty air gets flung everywhere around this 1.5 miler. Those lap cars who started on pit road is now probably going to play into effect of how the 95 is going to attack the racetrack, since we'll get an onboard shot of where Nick is versus those lap cars. They're still a far ways ahead, but they're still there, so who knows. Later in the run, those drivers toward the back who are experiencing even dirtier air than what that 95 is can take advantage of what Nick's situation is, pull up to the backside of him, or it could work vice versa. Clean air could work to that leader and he could pull himself away.
Yeah, and you mentioned a few moments ago these cars potentially starting to get tight here in lap 18. We never went over race analysis, and that'll tell us how many tire sets that these guys have at their disposal. Looks like we're going to have 7 tire sets over these next 182 laps that are remaining tonight. So good amount of sets there. Fuel window 65 to 70. So from a fuel perspective, it could be, looks like a 3-stop race, but you might want to pit more frequently than that for some fresh tires.
Yeah, I'm not sure if people could undercut the strategy to maybe make it a 4-stop strategy. I'm not really sure, but if people were to make it a 4-stop strategy, which is viable as one car hits the wall, as Peter Kenny, you have to pit every 50 laps. Or Yeah, every fifth. No, that would still be 3 stops, but
Actually, it's a 2-stop on fuel, but again, the tires may not last, 60 laps like that.
right.
You could do a 6, maybe not a 6-stop strategy. Maybe 4 or 5 could maybe pan out, depending on what everybody else is trying to do.
So, in my opinion, I think a 3-stop strategy would do. Pit 50, pit 100, and pit on 150. I'd say short pitting the window. Looks like 15 laps, about 15 laps before you could run out on a tank, and I honestly think 65 is a bit much. Some drivers usually will like to hit pit road a couple laps earlier, maybe around like lap 60-ish or something like that. So we'll have to see on how these drivers will strategize these next 40 laps.
And meanwhile, Parker White completed that pass for second. Hunter did indeed complete that pass on Poindexter for third. So the 21 back to fourth after starting in second, but still a pretty solid run going so far. Rosero has managed to hold off Christopher Weil for the time being. He's still in fifth, but that 41 still all over his back bumper, and we'll try again here into turn 1 and get into the top 5.
Rosero's going to drive it deep into the corner, clears the 41, but he gets tight right up off. Looks like the 41 couldn't get the run right up off the corner. Rosero held the high side good enough to hold that 5th spot, but Weil is still, in my opinion, I think he's a bit faster than that number 23 as of right now, but we'll just have to see on how he's going to pass. Looks like Connor Brennan, the 92. He's done a nice job of working himself inside the top 10. He currently resides in his highest position so far in 7th.
Yeah, I think that could be a situation where the 41, again, might be faster than the 23, but he needs to find the right time to try to get around him, and he also needs to do it so as to not maybe get himself a bit vulnerable to where that 92 could make a move on him for that position and end up making it a wash. So that definitely changes what maybe Christopher could try to do here in terms of trying to pass Rosero, but now is to keep that 92 and everyone else behind him in mind.
Side by side in front of these leaders. What are they doing?
What? And Peter Kenny.
Oh, he's on his red. What is that? What the?
What? Peter Kenny has. I don't even know what to say about that. The caution is out for the first time tonight. As Peter Kenny, I think that's got to be the highest a car has gone in any race so far this season. And I think he may have hit the backstretch opening.
I'm not sure what that was about.
What? I think that camo car, that's Justin Johnson.
Justin Johnson.
He hit the wall and bounced into Peter. We'll see.
That just gets in the wall down the back end.
Oh,
you are right. Got into the opening and
into the opening.
Parker White
flying into the air. Hopefully Parker White neck coated through
Yeah,
that.
he did.
Oh, what a lucky break for him. We got to get it on board of Parker White, though. I mean, it must be pretty scary to just be going down the backstretch and you see a car going through the opening and right in your path. Oh,
what a mess. Well, that's a way to spark off our first caution, but this will give the opportunity for drivers to work it down onto pit road and slap on some 4 goodies. But man, that was nuts.
Well, needless to say, Peter Kenny's night is over. As the entire field will make their way down pit road here for 4 fresh tires. Could potentially see somebody further back stay out for a lap for points, but it looks like nobody opts to do so, and everybody will be in for 4 tires and fuel. That was one of the most insane wrecks we've had all season.
Reminds me a lot of Parker White flying up in the air at Iowa.
That was like exponentially worse than that one was.
Yeah, but luckily for Parker White, he's the car who hit Peter, and he netcoded through all that, I think. Yeah, Parker White comes out third. He better netcode through him, or else if he didn't, that would have... Ooh.
That'd be some sad irony.
Yeah, that...
But at least for Parker at Iowa, he didn't hit an opening before he flew out of the track. So, yeah, and a more unfortunate for Peter as well, because Peter was one of those that pit started to avoid a wreck, and then the guy that he pit starts with ends up putting him in the opening. So that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and that 19 is utterly destroyed. And looks like it'll be a last place finish, unfortunately, for the Daytona 250 winner.
Mark Frimpong in the 53 looks like a lead lap for him. He'll work himself back on lap number 26, and he'll be able to battle out with 42 drivers. But man, that was... Yikes! Yikes, 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 yikes.
Oh, boy. Alright, so this will be the first of 7 tire sets used by everybody in the field. So 6 remaining here for the next 173 laps. But despite all that jostling around we had in the first 5 laps, we still made it 23 laps before our first caution, which is a pretty solid green run, and we got a 10th of the race already done. So we'll see if they can get right back to that again, or if this could potentially lead to a string of yellows that come out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might lead to a string of yellows because now everybody knows what their car is capable of based on those 25-ish laps. I expect some more people to be aggressive, and as well as with this run, hits a big reset button. Everybody is going to be on fresh tires, and we'll be able to handle it out. Well, hopefully, for this next green run. But oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh,
I got no words for that one. That's going straight to the iSCAR Instagram page.
Yeah, Peter Kenny has had some interesting ways to DNF from races, and unfortunately that's just the latest in a line of different things. But hopefully he'll be back tomorrow night for the Xfinity race. I forget where it is, but...
Martinsville.
Well, that'll be an interesting one.
Yeah.
If it was anything like the 2 races we've already had there, the 3, it'll be something to watch. But before we get there, we've got the rest of this race to go. 1 to go at the line. Pace lights are off. So Nick Miller and Parker White, the 295s, looks like will lead us to our first restart of the night.
Yeah, again, luckily for Parker White, he didn't receive any damage off of that incident. So iRacing's netcode played favor to him, and he's gonna be side by side with other 95.
Yeah, like the ARCA race the other night at Daytona when Nick Miller netcoded through Kenny Brady when he was stopped on the track, and that, you know, speaking of the other 95s, so both of those 95s have netcoded through race-ending wrecks in the last handful of days. So both of them pretty fortunate, especially that 095 to be up there tonight.
Yeah, I guess 95 is just a lucky number here in iSCAR just for the week. Who knows what will happen next week, because you might have a good week tonight, but maybe the next week at Talladega will tell a different story. And of course, we all know what Dega holds for iSCAR as a pace car scoots itself on a pit road. Nick Miller in the 95 will lead the field to the green.
Green, green, green.
First restart of the night underway. Looks like the 23 Rosero did not get a good restart. And that's going to allow Johnson to immediately foul down to that inside as Blaise McKinney's all over the back bumper of that 23. And here we have a battle between the M&M's cars. Omar Diallo and Connor Brannon 3 wide with, I believe, Cole Williams on the top side as they continue to make their way down the backstretch. Bit of bump draft in there with Brody and Omar into turn 3, and it looks like the 42 will yield out of that 3-wide situation as Connor gets a door there from, I believe, the 1, but thankfully holds on to it.
Yeah, that was the other M&M's car I was looking for, but it was not an Elliott Sadler throwback, but Connor Brannon loses multiple positions, now in the hands of the 08 of Dylan Basin, so Connor trying to work himself to the bottom side, gets a bit loose.
Ooh. And has to chase it up the hill, but thankfully saves it. Got some jostling going around here. That's Poindexter looking for second place under his teammate Nick Miller, and Parker White in the 095 has taken the race lead for the first time tonight. So our first lead change will be the 095 around the 95. Oh no! Johnson, Miller, and McKinney all go around. Johnson's going to come back up the track, spins down to the inside,
Caution is out.
and now the caution comes out, and more cars are around. John Cannizzaro, the LCQ winner, spins into turn 1, and other cars also involved but half the top 5 instantly around here on the trioval.
Oh man. Yeah,
That's
a it's an odd looking wreck. Oh, I see what happened. So this is similar of like what we saw in the 2013 Coke 600. They're 3 wide in the dog leg, and it seems as though
I think
Miller just came down. He didn't know he was 3 wide because Blaze shoved himself to the bottom side at an awkward angle.
Oh man, thankfully nobody hit Hunter, but he was in a vulnerable spot there, spinning through the trail of the grass. Looks like I think somebody did go through the apron. I think that was Cannizzaro. Oh, Keplinger spun as well, so there was more to this wreck as well. And I think that's the 49 of Sartaj also went spinning. Looks like he just spun to miss Hunter. And then there's the other trouble with Cannizzaro further up. So there was more contact between cars trying to avoid this. Looks like D Mantova got into Sartaj. And then there's Cannizzaro in some trouble. I think that's Hunter up as well in the 61. So quite a few cars picking up some damage there in that one. But all things considered, that one still could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, that's right. I'm very, very surprised. Not a lot of people wrecked on that incident because the way Hunter was working up the racetrack, that had disaster written all over it.
Well, it was a mini disaster. I mean, 6 or 7 cars all got collected, but we've seen bigger wrecks than that happen at Charlotte. See also a bunch of all-star races over the last 15 years, but one of the leaders of the race, the pole sitter Nick Miller, already in some early race trouble, though. And it looks like he'll be shuffled back into the 30s, at least for the time being. And so Parker White will retain the race lead, and Poindexter, who started second, ends up back there again.
Now Parker White has filed himself to the front. We'll see what he could do without a couple contenders flirting for that top spot. Without number 21 of Poindexter, he showed a bit of speed. Of course, we saw what he was capable of in the New Hampshire race, finished second. Fortunate for him, couldn't close out the deal. That number 21's been close multiple times, but we're still waiting until he picks up his first win. Yeah, more than a couple.
The day is going to come for that 21, as well as the guy that's in front of him, Parker White. They've been 2 of the most consistent drivers across all the different series so far, and 2 of them still looking for their first iSCAR wins, and I still think that they're both going to get their first wins before the season's over. I have full confidence that they're both going to score their first win in at least one of the 4 remaining series.
Yeah, that's well. Yeah, 4 series left. I totally forgot about that because the super late model event is about to happen
on Wednesday. I'm super pumped for that one. I mean, a bit sad to see that the ARCA series is over, but super late models are one of my favorite series here in iSCAR. And if you tune in on Wednesday, we'll be, I believe, be at New Smyrna. It's either New Smyrna or Irwindale that's the first race. I forget off the top of my head. Yeah, that one's always a good show.
Irwindale's a really fun track, and in my opinion, a very underrated short track. Runs like the track
it's like
nearest
Thompson
to it.
And Lucas Oil.
That's right. Reminds me a lot of Auto Club, I ain't gonna lie. Because of how wide it is and how presenting it is into the corner. And usually everybody files himself right up against the barrier just to log themselves around, but who knows who could work that low side.
There aren't very many short tracks where the high side is the dominant line, but Irwindale is one of those, so it makes it very interesting to drive there. And Carson Poindexter, one of those that's usually pretty good in those super late models, had a couple of good runs the last time we did that series and the other late model series, so we'll see if Carson can potentially score a win there, or maybe he can get one in one of these top 3 series. But we've got 165 laps to go here tonight, and that 21's in a prime position to maybe do it tonight.
That does shuffle the top 10 just a bit. Some new contenders now inside this top 10. Charlie Byer in the 7 has worked himself now into 10s. Dylan Basin is now in 9th place. Connor Brandon, of course, a nice plow for him through the field. That number 92 resides in 7th. Brody Gardner looks like he's going to be in 6th after he started all the way back outside this top 10. So we'll see what these people could do with now new presented opportunities with these positions. And how this run will go. Still yet to cross the halfway point. Long, long ways away till that halfway point comes around.
Oh, I just realized I was muted. Well, that's a problem.
Oh.
How long was I muted for?
I don't know. I heard you for
Oh, whoops.
a bit of a moment.
We're back now. We're good.
Here we go. Restart underway. A lot of jamming up. Dylan Basin already peeking to the underside of Connor Brandon. Oh my goodness. A nice jump there by the 095 of Parker White. He works himself to the front. And they just about go side by side. I mean, 3 wide into turns number 1. Christopher Weil looking around his own teammate. That number 21 of Carson Poindexter.
Yeah, I think Weil thought about taking it 3 and then thought better of it. But they're still jostling. Almost 3 wide here down the backstretch. Into turn 3, a bit further back. Here comes Diallo, though, with a big move to the inside. Might pick up 2 spots here in 1 turn. Weil has to let off a bit to not run into his teammate, and that's going to allow Connor to get by as well, and perhaps Brody here in the tri-oval.
That one of Diallo, man, he might be the car to beat. He started himself all the way back, looks like in...
Whoa, Brody! On the apron there.
Yeah,
Close call there, but yeah, that one car is blazing so far.
Looks like the 08 of Dylan Basin did pick up a bit of damage, but that one of Diallo, he's flying right now. He's worked himself outside this top 10 now into 4th place, sort of boxed in behind the 21 and 23. Not really anywhere to go for these two. I mean, for this number 1 machine.
Not very often you see 2x2 at Charlotte, but here it is on full display down the backstretch. Now Rosero and Weil are going to have a run on the high side, putting that draft into full effect.
All right, man, caution is
not
out.
enough
Caution is out.
to get to the door of Poindexter, but a caution will make it a couple more laps before they can do that again. And it looks like Max Urich, one of those, in some trouble, and I'm not sure who that other car is. Looks like it's Aaron Brown in the 151, so we'll get a look and see. But brought out caution number 3 here at Charlotte. Another one of those custom number cars, so even though he's the 151, it shows up as the 18.
Ooh, looks like Aaron. Oh, he got loose.
He hit the apron.
Trying to keep it down low, and that was Nick Miller who ran into him.
Oh, Miller again. And then where does Urich get into this?
Oh,
Urich had help from somebody going to miss that.
Yeah, might have been Hess. Not really sure, but... Ooh, he actually ran into the backside of...
Urich already had front end damage. Yeah, he ran into somebody. Who's that?
It's like Shuttlesworth.
Ooh, yeah, that's Trey. And then nowhere for Hess to go. And a big hit for Urich to the inside wall. So that 6 might be done for the night. And if he's not, he'll probably have some extensive repairs on pit road to do. Yikes.
Yeah, Aaron washed up the racetrack and looks like everybody did a nice job of avoiding, but of course it was the secondary wreck as people were avoiding around that caught up Max Urich and Garrett Hess. But we go under caution. Number 40 out of 200.
Yeah, it looks like I was right. We had that early green flag run. Now we've had a bit of a string of yellows here. We now had 4 or 3 over the last 15 or so laps. So hopefully we can get that straightened up and get another good run going. But Parker White's still out front here. And pole sitter Nick Miller picks up even more damage there on that last wreck after spinning on the front stretch. So that good night for the 95 has gone south pretty quick here. But still plenty of time to see if he can try to recover and get back into the top 10.
Some names we haven't really mentioned about. Luke LaFaro in the 187. He's worked himself into 13th place by the looks of it. Blaze McKinney. Blaze has actually dropped out outside of this top 10. Of course, he was involved in that front stretch incident as he spun to the inside. Looks like not a lot of damage to Blaze's machine. You see Keplinger there as well. Mitch Hobbs now inside this top 20. Cody Webster in that number 9 machine. It's been a while since we've seen that number 9 on the racetrack. Here he is. Currently resides in 19th place, and here's the number 61 of Hunter Rupp. Sporting a Fred Jones Papyrus Racing throwback.
NR 2003 represent with that one right there.
That's right.
And NR 2003, basically the building blocks here for iRacing. So I guess you ever want to thank NR 2003 guys, or remember where it's from. Every place, every company, I guess, has its origins, and NR 2003 is where iRacing has theirs.
Yep.
So good to see somebody run that. I was wondering if somebody was going to do it, and sure enough, Hunter Rupp decided to, and we'll see if that one could potentially win the throwback vote tonight.
Some more names we haven't really mentioned about. Zach Corbett in the 102. He currently resides in, looks like 23rd as of right now. Glenn Bundren. He's sitting 24th. Joe Berge in the 83. Now in 27th. So all these drivers toward the back of the field. I'm not really sure if they're just laying back because, we have to cross the halfway point. Just about 60 laps away from that lap 100 point.
See Cannizzaro in the 74. He was involved in the front stretch incident with Nick Miller after winning the LCQ. So a bit of damage to the front end of that 74 machine, but still in 26th. I mean, not where you necessarily want to be, but of course, 26th is still better than, Peter Kenny, who's in 43rd after one of the biggest wrecks we've ever seen here in iSCAR. So it could always be worse, I suppose. So the 74 could honestly still get back up there. That damage doesn't look too bad, and there's still a lot of racing left to do.
Yeah, that's right. I honestly expect only about 15 cars on the lead lap by the end of this thing, because toward the end of the race, that's where iSCAR becomes iSCAR, and we start wiping out half the field. Last time we ran this event, we had, looks like, only 8 cars on the lead lap, but that was, of course, with a 35-car field. 35 cars versus 43. Not much of a difference, but it just tells you the attrition that these drivers have to go through, probably in the future. Here we go. iSCAR is in. And up and away we go for Parker White. The 95. Poindexter attempting to jump the restart. A bit of scrambling right behind. Wow, does not get going because of that.
And it's going to stack some people up. We're probably going to see 3 wide fairly quickly into turn 1. Thankfully we won't, because 3 wide is always really sketchy here, especially at a track like Charlotte. But 3 wide still not out of the question as they make their way out of turn 2.
Some cars dropping to the apron, maybe to get out of harm's way, but here comes Diallo.
Zero got a bit loose. 23 to wiggle there into turn 3, and I think that held up Poindexter and Brandon just a bit. Still 2x2 in the tri-oval. Bumper to bumper here as they go into 1. I think Rosero may have just tagged the wall just a bit, and that's going to cost Poindexter just a bit of time. It might cost him a position here to his teammate Brody Gardner, as Keplinger goes a bit high at a 2.
They're all flirting around with that outside wall. I'm surprised nobody has really nailed the outside wall off the exit of the corner. But here we go. 2 contenders work themselves into 2nd and 3rd. That number 1 of Omar Diallo and the number 41, Christopher Weil. Diallo already has a cup win on his resume. He won at Dover on the low downforce package. So that number 1 has a lot of talent under his machine. As you look at the blocking right in the background, I think it was Colton Zimmer cutting off Casey Drake, but for Omar Diallo and that number 1.
Colton and Casey, 2 of those that advanced on from the LCQ. Yeah, Diallo in the 1. He's actually won in all 3 of the top series here in iSCAR so far. Of course, won in the Xfinity cars at Atlanta, in the trucks at Richmond. So no matter what car it is, that 1 is always going to be one of the most competitive cars in the field. And putting that on full display here tonight, working himself from the below 25th already into that runner-up spot.
And the thing is, we've yet to have a repeat winner in the Cup Series, which is crazy to think about. We're 10 races in, and we've yet to have a repeat winner.
I could see that changing tonight. That 1 car is one of the best cars out on the racetrack, but he's got one tough customer in Parker White ahead of him, who's still looking for his first ever iSCAR win, and Christopher Weil, who's won pretty much everything there is to win, at least this season, and is in the top 3 in every single point standing. So a pretty competitive top 5 here, even with Rosero, who hasn't raced a whole lot, but he's been really, really strong here in the early going.
Yeah, but the thing is, for that number 41, has yet to pick up a Cup Series win. And the number 41.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, that's right.
Super consistent, though.
Yeah, he's due for one, and here he is running in 3rd place. He's going to have to duke it out with Diallo, though.
And he's already won this weekend as well. Of course, won last night at New Hampshire, so a bit of momentum on that 41 side. But I don't know if the momentum from winning tops the momentum of trying to win, so we'll see if Parker could potentially get it done tonight, or Carson, or maybe anybody else in this field who's yet to score a win. We've got a good 4-pack of cars here into 1. That's DeAndrea, Howe, Schmidt, and I don't know who that other car is, but a good battle brewing here. And it looks like that's Luca Faro in the 187, and the 4 of them right behind Cody Webster in the 9, who's had a pair of ARCA wins this season.
Some scrambled toward the back as well. Looks like around where Hunter Johnson is, not Blaze McKinney. 08 of Dylan Basin, also in this mix as well. Who's that running? The 04 is running a, looks like Alex Bowman-ish throwback.
Yeah, that's Paul Granada, who of course almost had his first ever iSCAR Winter Series win at Eldora, and then he flipped across the line to finish in 2nd. So that 04 has come close a couple times. There's at a couple other top 5s. Still running, looks like somewhere in the 20s, but you know what? I mean, at a track like Charlotte, where the winner could potentially come down to who ends up exercising the best fuel strategy, I seriously would not count anybody in this field out yet. But here comes Diallo in the 1 on the inside of Parker White for the race lead, and I think he's going to get it here in the 1. And Rosero goes hard into the turn 4 wall, keeps it going, but that's going to cost him some spots.
Yeah, not only that, he has some damage on his right side. That toe is probably going to be knocked out on his machine, so Poindexter is going to easily work himself down to the low side, and looks like Brody Gardner, the 55, couldn't complete the pass as for the lead, Diallo to the front.
On an absolute mission. I believe he started like 26th or 27th, somewhere around there.
Caution is out.
And the caution is out, though, so Diallo will control the next restart. Shane DeMantova in the 52 in some trouble here into turn 3, and it looks like his whole front end's gone, so that was a hard hit wherever it was.
There's also a car smoking coming into 3 and 4. Not really sure who that is, but got a replay regardless as we work ourselves back to pace car speed.
Yes, there he is. Got him with Keplinger. Oh, no. That may have been a similar deal to what happened with Justin Johnson and Peter Kenny. We'll see if Keplinger just got the wall here.
Oh, it looks like Frimpong just scared the 60 into the wall.
And DeMantova ends up going head-on into the inside wall. We'll get another look here of that 52.
Bang.
Bang. Nothing he could do at all.
Oh!
Oh! Somebody net-coded into him and spun it. That's the car that's smoking you were mentioning. Who is this? Ooh. I can't tell who that is, but whoever it is, their engine's expired from the contact.
Looks like it was the 69 of Frank DeAngelis.
Nothing he could do at all. And that's Bachman in the 84. So we'll see if he gets damage in this at all.
Oh,
and
yeah, just a bit.
Again, that's for a chase spot right there. Bachman again, 14th in points coming into tonight. And that's not what he wanted to have happen at all.
Whoa, there's a wreck on pit road.
Is that Zimmer? I think that's Zimmer in the 09 that's gone around.
Oh my gosh, the shuttles just ran right into him.
How do you not see him just sitting there?
I don't know. I think Shuttlesworth was thinking he was going to clip through him. I don't know what that was about, but he just...
Oh, no.
Oops.
Oh, guess we've seen pretty much everything there is to see so far in these first 53 laps, and we've still got 3/4 of the race left, but we gotta get another look at that and see how Colton Zimmer just managed to spin on pit road. Coming out of his box.
Oh, Corey looks like wasn't paying attention to his inside. Around Zimmer went. Oh, Bianchini picking up a bit of damage.
There's Corey still trying to get into his pit stall, and then here comes Trey. Just
no words for that, but regardless, looks like Zimmer's actually towed it. So, or no, he's just back on the pit road. So, yeah, unfortunate for him, but a bit of strategy being played. Hunter Johnson elects to stay out. Aaron Brown and David Bachman, they too elect to stay out. So they're gonna save a set.
Yeah, so this is. I'm a bit surprised to see Johnson staying out, but I'm not shocked at all that Bachman is, because again, I believe it was 14 points or 19 or something like that behind Casey Drake with a 13th and final chase spot. So for that 84, if he can manage to lead a lap, that's a bonus point up for grabs, which again, we've seen it before. Even 1 point can be the difference between making the chase and just missing out. So if that 12 ends up pitting this time, maybe to get some more repairs or, just to get some fuel in the car, wouldn't shock me at all to see that 84 stay out again.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, looks like he doesn't. He's not going to be eligible to get the point unless Johnson makes a mistake here on the restart. But the difference is between Bachman and Hunter. Bachman 16-lap old tires, Hunter 21-lap old tires. So Bachman does have fresher tires than that number 12, but everybody right behind, new tires on their car. And we do have a shuffle for that top spot. Looks like Diallo did lose that race off a pit road. So Christopher Weil now into 4th, but he's trapped behind Bachman. But Parker White is trapped behind Aaron Brown.
Yeah, it looks like Aaron Brown also staying out, and after the incident he caused a bit earlier, I don't know if those guys behind him are probably going to like him staying out, but hopefully that doesn't end up being another incident. But yeah, we can't. Yeah, Bachman, even though he's up there, he can't speed up to try to beat Hunter to the line under caution. Of course, it's a point penalty if you do that, and it's more than what you would have gained by leading the lap. So it greatly discourages anybody from doing that. But if Hunter does end up spinning the tires, perhaps on the restart, that could be a lap. And we have contact further back between Demantova and Keplinger. I don't think that 52 is very happy with the 60 for that last caution.
Yeah, bit of rubbing. 52 just
he's not thrilled.
Yeah, he ain't thrilled. Just put him in the outside wall. So, oh boy, that's probably gonna get looked at as we progress with the night. But
fireworks.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, under the lights. Not a lot of times we go under lights here in the Cup Series, but here tonight, I think is it our first night race? I'm not really sure.
Pace car's off here. Johnson goes really early, and that's going to completely stall the inside as Aaron Brown doesn't go. But the outside's even more stalled out because Weil couldn't go either with Bachman there. So now the 84 is going to come down to the bottom side around Aaron Brown, and that's going to allow Weil and Diallo to both try to get second and third back on the high side.
Look at Parker White in the number 95. He has nowhere to go. He's going to take it where nobody goes. 3 wide to the bottom. Connor Brennan has to watch his spotter unless he can clear that 18 into the corner. Indeed, he does so. So Connor looks like will reside into 5th spot. Oh, wow, sideways.
And Weil saves it, and that's going to stack everyone up even more. Sheen and Brody and Parker, they're all over the place here on the front stretch. Parker White almost goes into the grass there into 1. Here comes Dominic Cowan Blaze McKinney, they are all over the place here in the middle of turn 2.
Bachman's being a hold up there. He might take it 4 wide down the back.
Whoa, and almost a wreck there, I think, with Sheen and Brody Gardner, but they hold on to it. As I think everyone's still trying to get around Bachman, but Hunter Johnson, meanwhile, has managed to keep the lead for the time being, and Connor Brennan, out of all of that, has worked his way up into second.
Whoa, they're wrecking!
Whoa! Someone, yeah, oh yeah, Brazero's in the outside wall, and I think someone's in the grass.
It's Dominic Howell. Will this be a caution, though? Looks like no.
Green for now. And that's a tough break for Dominic, and that really separated the entire field. And here comes Connor Brennan for the lead, as looks like Hunter Johnson's tires have finally given in. And 92 to the lead for the first time tonight, and Diallo and Poindexter looks like will also get by the 12 and the 42 of Cole Williams.
How about that for that number 92 of Connor Brennan, running this series part-time now after he won his championship. Made the Final Four last season, couldn't complete it after he got involved in a late race incident. But here he is up front of a newer generation of iSCAR drivers, Omar Diallo, Carson Poindexter, and Cole Williams. At 92, a veteran of this league, and here he is leading the field.
I can't believe whatever just happened on the front stretch wasn't a caution.
Yeah, me too.
That was weird. But it's a really tough break for Brazzero. Again, he qualified third and was running top 5 for a good, first 40 or so laps, and he finds himself outside of the top 30 now. So good run gone south, unfortunately, for that 23. As again, Connor Brennan, I don't know, this might be the first laps he's led all season. I'm not really sure, because he hasn't run a whole lot. But already under attack once again from Omar Diallo, who's been the best car out on the racetrack for the duration of the night. And that's going to be a battle for the lead here right now. And the two of them looks like they're also trying to pull away from Poindexter, but the 21 should pull back in just a bit, with the leaders now side by side. Yeah,
it looks like Connor missed the entry of turn 1 and 2, but he's going to be able to pinch this number 1 just a bit. That's more than just a bit, so Connor's going to be able to retain the lead. And as you mentioned it, this number 21 of Poindexter is going to be able to close the gap with himself and that number 1. 09 of Colton Zimmer going up high. But you see right there, Zimmer is right up against the blue line, but Connor is running up at, I'd say, a foot higher. And here we go into the corner. Connor opens up the door for number 1. He might have it off of 4, but I'm not really sure.
Not able to clear. I think the 92 might have him at the line. But
that was close.
Diallo's going to be able to clear into 1, and what a move there by McKinney to try to get by. I don't know who that was. Might be Webster.
Oh, Diallo got loose. Oh, he turns Connor!
Connor!
What a save!
Wow. Gonna cost him some spots, but he was dead sideways and probably just prevented a huge wreck. And Omar Diallo back to the race lead once again, but that might be one of the best saves of the entire season so far by Connor Brennan. Wow.
Man, in the meantime of that, Diallo takes the lead.
Look at the gap between Connor Brennan still in 7th place and Brody in 8th. 2.5 between 7th and 8th place, and that's because of that incident on the front stretch that didn't end up being a caution, and it really separated this field up. And I think that might be... Oh, I think Charlie is now 7th. Connor got 6th place back, but that's a lapped white car. I think that might be Colton Zimmer they're coming up on. But with that not being a caution, the entire field is pretty spread out now.
The two M&M's cars collided.
Yeah, with Connor's tires probably a bit shot now because of that spin he had. It might be a while before he's able to pit again.
Luckily for him, he does have a viable gap back to the 55, so Connor could cool down the tires and save just for a bit. He'll still retain this top 10 spot, but man, I just cannot believe he kept the car straight, though. What a save.
And out of all of that, Diallo again retakes the race lead. And has been the best car on the track, and now enjoys a half-second lead right now over Carson, who of course wants to get back up there, but that one car just so much better than everybody else right now.
And of course, that front stretch incident has really fanned out the field. We'll take a scroll through this whole entire order. We have a big pack between, looks like 25th-ish spot. I want to say this is a big pack. This is a big line of cars around this area, but that's all the way back in turns 1 and 2, and the leader is already off of 4. So that just tells you that big fan out on the front stretch has spread out the field, and we might see some lap cars play effect here soon.
Now, I was just about to say, could be some lap traffic. I don't know about yet, but maybe in the next 10, 15, 20 laps, if this thing stays green for a bit longer, could potentially play a role in what happens. But with Diallo up by a second, he could potentially afford a bit of a slip up from a lap car and maybe retain the lead. But of course, doesn't want one in any capacity.
Connor fends out Blaze McKinney for this position. Still retains the top 5 as he now works himself back in it. Looks like he's cooled down those tires enough to regain his strength.
Yep, already back up into 5th, but, you know, 2.5 seconds now behind that one of Diallo. So, in terms of trying to get the lead back, it's going to be a while. But still holding tough in that top 5. As Hunter Johnson on those older tires is now falling out of the top 10. And as well as Bachman and Aaron Brown. And now Hunter side by side with Mark Frimpong in the 53. I believe this is for 19th place. And it looks like the 53 will prevail for that position.
Yeah, looks like Hunter's strategy of staying out does not work to his favor. He's
a lot of fall off too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only been about 10 or so laps, maybe 10, 12 laps since he went back green. And Hunter's already fallen almost out of the top 20. So that goes to show you how valuable tires are at a track like this, where even having 20-lap-old tires can really make that much of a difference.
Parker White, former leader, getting a push from the 87 to Casey Drake down the back straightaway. Parker works himself back into 12th, leading a line of 4 with himself, Casey Drake, Hunter Rupp, and Dylan Basin.
Yeah, Parker White was one of those that got held up, I think, by Aaron Brown and Bachman. And he was, I believe, either first or second. I believe he was second when that last caution came out. And with those cars staying out, he ended up getting stuck behind the cars that were involved in that travel incident that wasn't a caution. As we see Hunter Johnson make a pit stop, so that's going to drop him to 34th and no longer on the lead lap. So that 12 needs a caution now to get back on this lead lap.
Yeah, he decided to hit pit road early just to cushion out of what he could, what he dug himself in. So, the question is, when the caution will play to his advantage. Now he'll work himself back from a lap down. We still have a lot of racing to go. Looks like 120 laps-ish to go for tonight's event.
Apparently Hunter Johnson might have to pit again. I think he may have had his tires unchecked the first time, and indeed he does. So that's just going to cost him another lap or two. And it's a silly mistake like that can potentially cost you your entire race, even just leaving your tires unchecked when you make a pit stop. And so now he's going to drop even further back in the running order, now to 35th. He's going to be in 2 or 3 laps down now by the time he ends up at full speed again.
Yikes. Yeah, you can't make those mistakes.
And even with as long of a race as this is, you still can't afford to make one even with a race this long, because you don't know how often the cautions are going to come out. And with him now being multiple laps down, you know, everyone that's in front of him, and you know, everyone that's a lap down, of course, will get a lucky dog before he does. So it's going to be a long uphill battle for that 12 to get back in the lead lap now.
Battle here for this 10th spot. Looks like 77, Liam Sheen, Jack DeAndrea are also a part of this, as Parker White in 185 sort of watches this. Looks like that battle distinguishes. How about that number 9 of Cody Webster? He now works himself inside this top 10.
Yeah, good run going for him. Of course, he mounted a late season charge towards the top of the ARCA series standings, but unfortunately didn't show for the last 2 or 3 races and quickly fell right back out of the championship contention, but Cody's one of those where no matter what car it is and what track it is, he's always going to be uber competitive and has been in that top 15, top 10 for a good portion of the night. And we'll see if he can potentially get himself further up towards the lead here in the next part of the race.
Yellow has checked himself out by 1.5 seconds. They're still about to duke it out here for the second spot. It's Poindexter and Williams.
Great run for Cole so far.
Yeah, Cole, he too, another driver I'm very surprised who has yet to win this season. He's led the Xfinity Series standings for a while until he lost at the Weil. And at number 42, I wouldn't be surprised if I see that machine in victory lane sometime later, but it's just a matter of when and how he's going to do it.
Yeah, another one of those like Parker White and Carson Poindexter, where to me it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they'll get the victory lane. But in the meantime, they both have got to try to catch that one of Diallo, who again is really checked out from the rest of this field, as he's put the 6 of Urich another lap down. And he's all by himself now on the track, pretty much in a zip code of his own compared to any other cars out on the track. Urich, one of those involved in one of the earlier incidents. You see that front end damage to that 6. Currently 34th, so he's actually passed Hunter Johnson because Hunter had to pit again, but still pretty far back in the field.
He's the first one lap down as well, so if a caution does come out, he's going to get the lead lap.
Looks like Hunter only lost 2 laps. I thought he may have lost more than that. And looks like Urich and Bianchini, the only cars in front of him. So that's going to be at least 4 cautions for Hunter, unless the leaders pit on one of them and he takes the wave around. Battle heating up here again for second. Cole Williams all over the back bumper of that 21 to Poindexter, but Cole's going to have to file in line for the time being as they get around that lapped car of Urich.
Oh, where are you going to go? Looks like the 21's going to use the 6 as a pick. And Cole gets stalled there.
Solid move by Carson, though.
Oh, but he overshot 3 and 4.
Yeah, he played his cards perfectly and then didn't.
Oh, Cole's on the grass.
Or through the paint.
He's
there.
still in the grass.
And he's going to somehow make the pass. What? Or at least has a chance to. Channeling his inner Dale Earnhardt there through the trial while trying to do a pass in the grass. And they're still side by side down the backstretch.
Poindexter has to pinch the 42 as much as he can. Shove it into the corner, but I think they're both fettering the throttle. Oh, Cole hit the apron.
I can't believe he made that stick go.
He's still in there.
It again.
You can't do that too much because...
All right, man.
Caution comes out.
I wonder if the paint is almost acting like pavement down there, but Michael Rosero's good night has gone even further south, unfortunately, as he's the culprit of this yellow flag here on lap 84. Qualified in 3rd, and actually he's not the culprit. Looks like he ran into somebody else. Looks like he's running around 30th or so, and what in the heck is happening here?
That was Colton Zimmer in the 09.
Oh, you know what? Corey Long was the one that got into Colton Zimmer on pit road earlier, so that may have been some retaliation right there from the 09. We'll have to get another look at this.
Oh no, Corey's just in the wall.
Oh, what? Okay, that was just coincidence, because I would have thought that Colton may have been trying to get back at Corey for the pit road deal. Corey rode the wall, and I think Zimmer just overcorrected it, trying to get around him. So we'll see what put Corey in the wall here out of 4.
Just in the wall by himself.
Wall glue. Ooh, that's a big hit. So I think that was just mere coincidence that it happened to be those two again. Because at first glance, I thought maybe Colton was trying to spin him out for what happened earlier. And then Rosero just runs right into the 09 as he comes back down the track. So a tough break there for all 3 involved. And we'll see if we got any takers here on pit road. I imagine we'll have a lot of them.
Max Ugurk, the one who's going to get the wave around, so...
We'll see if Hunter does. I think Hunter can get the wave around here.
Yeah, he did hit pit road, so he could probably get the wave around. Ago.
Yeah, there he is. That's that black and yellow car up high. So this will give him one of his laps back, though we'll still need another yellow after this to get himself back on the lead lap. see who gets themselves off pit road first. As pretty much everybody comes down pit road safe for a few cars. Yellow's already in and out of his stall, and it looks like he'll probably be the first one off pit road, and indeed he is. Poindexter, then I think Cole, Parker, Connor, Blaze, Webster, and Weil. Looks like your top 8.
Yeah, easy in and out for that number 1 of not Poindexter, but the number 1 of Diallo.
Well's 4.
Connor works himself, looks like in 5th. McKinney, Webster, and Byer all work themselves out.
Looks like that wreck with Colton may have actually been intentional after all, but tough break either way.
I saw Corey, I guess, and he said, "Oh."
Yeah, Corey was already in trouble. I guess he was like, well, I mean, he, wrecked me earlier. Might as well just, I guess, add salt to the wound for that 93. But that'll be the end of the night for the 09. I believe he's been parked for that incident. So that'll take another one out of the race. So there you see Hunter in the 12, that Jegs machine. Still 1 lap down after that pit road mishap, but has an opportunity here to probably stay out a bit longer than he did the last time, since I think his tires are only about, 10 or so laps old compared to like 21 on the previous restart.
Yeah, I see right here is 12 lap old tires that number 12 has. So, stint to 12. Of course, got to count caution laps, so it might be 9 or 8. But yeah, we'll go back green as we'll have to find out on how Hunter Johnson will get himself back through the field and on the lead lap. Diallo in the meantime, though, he's the car to beat. No surprise. We talked about it earlier on how dominant he was on that Dover race. Oh, I was talking about he didn't win the Dover race. He didn't win the Cup Dover race. He won the Xfinity Dover race. And he also won a 1.5 miler event. That was Cup cars at Atlanta. Here.
Yeah, so we switched them up earlier. We said Xfinity at Atlanta. That was Weil. So it was Cup at Atlanta and Xfinity at Dover.
Yeah.
So he still won in all 3 series.
One to go. Well, that number 92, I'm very surprised how his day is going. I expected that 92 to be running outside this top 10 because, he's just making his return as a part-time driver. He is currently running in 5th.
So Diallo, I believe, has led the most laps now. I don't know where he sits in points, but tentatively 2 bonus points added to the 1 so far. Poindexter started in 2nd, has been up there all night, and restarts 2nd here. And we'll see if he can maybe mount a charge on that high side to try to get by that 1. But with the leader controlling the restart, always a tough thing to do.
Here we go. On the hands of that number 1 of Omar Diallo. He's been dominant ever since he's taken the lead. We'll see what he can do off this restart. Green flag is out. He'll hit the throttle early. They go side by side for the second spot. What a clear there by that number 21 of Poindexter.
I saw Webster almost take it 3 wide across the line. I think he may have backed off a bit to maybe avoid getting a penalty for jumping the start. He'll file in behind Brandon in the 92 in 7th place as they make their way down the backstretch. Think a bit of blocking going on there into turn 3 as Cole makes a move to the high side to try to get by that 21, but quickly files back in line between the 2 teammates. And I think
3 wide
Carson-
again. Oh, Webster nearly hit the barrels. Oh, they're wrecking again.
Oh yeah, yeah, there they go.
Oh, that's Parker White.
More cars. Yeah, Webster almost pulled a U there out of turn 4.
Wow.
Thankfully, didn't hit the barrels. But yeah, they did spin in front of that again. There's Cannizzaro in some more trouble. Oh,
Mitch
no,
Hobbs.
and there goes Hobbs into the outside wall.
That was William Schmidt
Parker
also
White
in it.
spins out. And there's more after this. So I don't know if Cannizzaro reacted to Webster or if this is just a totally separate incident. There's the 9 right behind.
Oh, Poindexter gets clipped.
Oh, and that's going to put Cole Williams up into second place. What?
Yet again, 3 wide and same scenario with Blaze McKinney on the bottom. And again he gets hit.
Yeah, and that's this. And McKinney was the car on the bottom when Nick Miller and Hunter Johnson had that incident earlier in pretty much the exact same spot. So I wonder if he was just trying to force it 3 when the other cars weren't expecting him to.
Same situation.
I don't know.
The third car in line came down. Poindexter just came down thinking he was clear, or he was just too wide.
And there were more cars further back that got collected in this as well. We got to keep looking further back in the field. We saw Cannizzaro in some trouble right there, and Mitch Hobbs, and there were more people as well. Webster gets it saved on his own, and then who else gets collected in this? I think there was more. And there's Parker, there's Mitch. There's Parker White.
Yeah, I'm not sure who ran into Parker White. Right around... Oh, Glenn.
Oh, Bundren, yeah, in the 37.
He
I
was
think
spinning.
somebody ran into one of the Hunters as well. I don't know if it was Robert Johnson. And just noses it into the outside wall.
Near miss there for the 777 to Garrett Hess, but...
Yeah, and I think somebody ran into either Robert Johnson further back, perhaps. But this got pretty big pretty quick. There's Johnson again. Was able to stay out last time.
Oh, Max Urich.
Oh, Urich. Yeah, there it is. Was able to save it, but that's going to add some damage to him, and he's probably going to have to pit now as well, despite being in the lucky dog position. Or being involved in the wreck may have actually taken him out of the lucky dog position, so we'll have to see what happens there. But that quickly turned from a 1-car spin to like a 10, almost 15-car brawl almost on the front stretch.
Yeah, there was like at least 4 separate incidents on the front stretch after that contact. Of course, Webster spun by himself.
And then Cannizzaro did, and then the contact with Weil and Poindexter. All over the place stuff was going on. That was an interesting one.
Yeah. Really don't know how to call that. Admins are gonna have a fun time working through all that mess.
So that's going to shuffle this top 10 around. Jack DeAndrea in the 028. He's into the top 10 now for the first time tonight. Dylan Basin back in the top 10. Liam Sheen in the 77 has gotten himself now into the top 10. So interesting stuff going on here. And I wonder if that might be some potential fuel-saving stuff going on there with Diallo.
Yeah, if he saves enough fuel...
You never know.
If he does save enough fuel, he could basically... one-stop it from this point forward. I'll have to pit on, I think, lap 55. So yeah, you could save a bit of fuel. One-stop it. Question is, how much fuel is he going to save? And how much fuel did he use in that first run? So it still might be a 2-stop strategy.
1 to go. Yeah, the window, I believe, was 65 to 70, if I remember correctly. So at this point, if you were to pit, like, right now, you'd have 1 more stop after this. For anyone that just pit on this caution, that was quite a bit of people, I believe, further back. So if you pit now, that'll put you around lap, I believe, 170 or so. Between 160 and 170, you'd probably have to pit again. And from that point on, you're home free in terms of fuel. But this could potentially create an interesting situation where if we have like a 50 or so lap run perhaps, and then we have a caution with like 5 laps to go, you're going to see some really interesting strategies of people trying to stay out on older tires, trying to make it to the end.
Oh, no doubt about it.
I mean, I'm not necessarily hoping that happens, but if it does happen, it would make for a very interesting finish.
That's right.
And of course, that would gets affected by what goes on now. So we'll see how this pans out. But Diallo, who again has been the best car all night, and Cole Williams will now be in second here for the restart.
Green flag. Oh, but the tire spin by the one, but was able to pull away. But man, Williams did not get going. He drops back to third, and McKinney to second.
Yeah, and Carson, because of that contact, is now all the way back in 26th. So that 21's got some work to do now to get back up there. Teammate battle here for 5th. That's Brody Gardner and Christopher Weil, last night's winner. And it looks like Brody will get that position. And more teammate battle. Looks like Byer's going to have a shot on Weil as well into 3. Had one.
Kenny jams up the inside. We'll see what Williams could do with him as he worked to the front straightaway. Williams a bit sideways, and he's sort of boxed in. Gonna have the opportunity to work down low. Side by side for second spot. Is gonna allow Diallo to pull away as well. And what will Connor Brandon do in that number 92? And what line he's gonna have to choose to get around these two?
Yeah, and Connor's got another opportunity here to try to get that lead back after having it earlier. And a bad corner there from McKinney. That's going to cost him second and potentially third, but another caution will come out. And looks like it's Aaron Brown in the 151 around on the backstretch. So another quick yellow here off a restart, and we'll get a look and see what happened to bring this one out. Racing around Carson, who again just was in that previous wreck.
Ooh.
Oh, got to Zach
What a
Corbett.
save.
Saved it. And Aaron ends up, Urich saved it too. And then there goes Aaron Brown back up the track. So I don't know. I wonder if he just got loose and hit the 102. That was odd.
It's the same situation, same corners that he just had
Almost
trouble
the same
with.
place, yeah, earlier. What a save though by Corbett there. Almost no worse for wear for that 102, but here comes the 151 back up the hill and into the wall. And hopefully nobody further up got fun in this.
Max Urich also sideways off the nose of Peter Kenny, trying to mind his own P's and Q's, but yeah.
Yeah, both of those machines pretty beat up from various different things tonight.
Nice avoidance there by the 119 Shuttlesworth. Or towards the back, hitting pit road. No, it looks like Blaze will hit pit road, so I'm very surprised about that call. He was holding a top 5 spot, but I guess gonna decide to hit pit road anyway. Now just joining us here for tonight's Max Speed TV event. We welcome everybody back here live. I know there's a couple events going on right now on the Max Speed TV channel. Sort of give everybody a welcoming hi. I know Rudy just summed up the... Looks like the Nicky Bobby's Bash for Cash 200 on the iRacing Speedway. Also summed up the Scoops Old Ice Cream Xfinity Series with Loose Lug Nuts and Joshua broadcasted that. So if y'all are tuning in from those streams, welcome here live. And if y'all don't like what the racing you're seeing right now, you could also tune into the other live stream that is going on right now, the NAI SCC Cup Series going on at Homestead. Currently, lap 98 out of 200, so we're coming up to halfway. And what time is it? 11:21, so
Yeah, this is definitely going to go past midnight tonight, without a doubt.
Well, last year it did go over midnight as well. We had more cautions there than we're having here. No, actually, maybe the same amount of cautions. I'm not really sure. I'll have to check the statistic for that. Last year looks like we only had 11 cautions last year, and we're on track to beat that.
Looks like Glenn Bondra ended up in the pit and the barrels at some point.
Rip.
That's probably the end of his night. But thankfully for Webster, who we saw almost hit them earlier, he did not. But
yeah, he got really, really close.
Yeah, somebody in this call may or may not have done that at some point. But
yeah, huh.
we don't talk about that.
One to go at the line. They're gonna start doubling up. We'll see if Cole Williams can get a better jump on the restart. And it seems as though Diallo spun the tires just a bit.
At the halfway point as well.
That's right.
As we're on lap 99, so halfway here at Charlotte, if you're just tuning in, Omar Diallo has led a bulk of the race after starting around 30th. So he's been one of the dominant cars of the night so far. Cole Williams in the 42 has had a good run so far in second. Connor Brandon won one of his few starts this season in third. And then Brody Gardner and Christopher Weil, who won last night at New Hampshire, round out your top 5. So a pretty interesting group of guys we've got up here. But the top 10 still has quite a few good cars in it, including Jack DeAndrea in the 028, who, like Connor, doesn't race as often, but when he does, he still has some pretty competitive speed.
See, Diallo led 36 laps. Connor right behind, only leading 4, and they're going to be starting 1 and 3, so after that contact, which lost that 92, the lead, pretty sure Connor's going to race that number 1 as hard as he can. Here we go. iSCAR will scoot itself on in. Green flag. It looks like Connor spun the tires that time, so Williams will be able to easily drive himself to the bottom side of the racetrack and take second spot. Side by side for third, though. What will Liam Sheen do with Brody Gardner or Connor Brennan?
Williams making a move to the inside, though, on that number 55, trying to gain that 4th spot. And that David Reagan 2016 throwback, at least that's what I believe it is. Still side by side there in a 3. Able to chase it up the hill just a bit and has to do so again. That's going to cost him a bit of time as he still tries to get by that 55.
Looks like Cole Williams slipped the corner, and that allowed Connor Brand to work to the bottom side of that. Oh!
Contact with Sheen and Wild.
Wow, still sideways. Basin had to jam on the brakes. 3 wide to the bottom side of the racetrack. Byers all the way on the apron. They're still 3 wide.
He flung it all the way down there, and he might pick up 2 spots in this exchange as he gets by his teammate in Basin and by Liam Sheen. So a daring move there by Byer works out in his favor, and that puts that 7 car up into P6. Here comes Sheen again, though, trying to get that spot back.
He's not letting go.
Got a good run to the middle of the turn. I think he's going to be able to get that spot back. And looks like Basin's going to go high and help his teammate down the backstretch and allow that 7 to keep the spot, at least momentarily.
Sheen has the bottom line in the 3 and 4. What can he do to get himself pointed nice way? In the meantime of that, Connor Brandon in 92 is trying to chase down that number 1 of Omar Diallo. We've got a 3-car train here for this 3rd spot. Cole Williams leading this one. He's work off the corner. Still side by side, though, for that 6th-ish spot. Look how fanned out the field is. There's a big separation where all the damaged versus undamaged cars are. I mean, look at all of this mess.
There's a lot of cars back here. Yeah, it looks like 10, 15 cars relatively close in proximity to each other. There's Carson and McKinney. They're side by side. 2 of them were involved in that travel incident a couple of yellows ago.
Look at that. They're 3 wide off the corner. Where is that at?
That's DeAndrea and Rupp and Bergie all in this mix.
Oh,
and the Schmidt. This is for the back half of the top 10. I think this is around 11th or 12th. Yeah, it looks like this is for 11th through 15th here, with Granada in the 04 at the tail end of this pack. And a big separation from Granada to the next group of people, as Granada, speaking of which, gets the apron just a bit. And these are all damaged cars as well. At least Parker White and Mitch Hobbs are. But back up front, these three still were in relative proximity of each other. But
Connor's
Omar Diallo
blinking
now up.
bunch.
Yeah, Connor just lost a bunch of time from that.
He's
and
still
Diallo's
blinking.
lead continues to expand there.
Man, this is gonna play a factor on how this all turn out. Where's Connor now?
Did he just totally drop out?
I'm not sure. If he dropped out a second, that's gonna be really, really sad.
Well, the ticker's showing him in 31st. He may have totally ended up disconnecting. Yep, looks like the 92 has fallen through.
Wow.
And a tough break for Connor Brennan, who was having such a good run. And got back up into second after the contact with Diallo earlier. And that's going to be the end of the road in terms of trying to win for Connor. And that blinking ends up doing him in. So that's going to move Cole Williams in the 42 back into second place. And further back now, Burgee in the 83 as a result of that, now into the top 10. They're still scrambling everywhere back here.
That's really heartbreaking for that number 92. Work yourself back through that incident.
I mean, if I had to fall through, I'd rather fall out on like lap 1 than 108 or 107.
All that time just wasted.
Yeah. I mean, get yourself into the race. I mean, you get to have the contact from the lead earlier. Get yourself back up there again, and then bam, it just all goes down the drain instantly. And it's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, unfortunately. And Connor definitely got the short end of that.
Basin passes well for 4th place. He works himself forward and looks like
Up by both of his teammates.
Yeah,
and that's another one in front of him. SPM 456 or 3456 right now. A great team effort for them so far. And Carson was up in the top 5 earlier, but still mired around in 25th, unfortunately for him. But a great team showing for SPM after their first 1-2-3 last night.
But now it's Basin Racing who's
That
showing.
one, but unstoppable tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
Unreal.
And
Still have 90 laps to go, but
yeah, 90 laps to go. But top 2 all non-SPM cars. For that one Diallo, that's a Basin Racing car. The 42 of Cole Williams, that is an Eel Media Racing car, who's now the second for. No, actually, never mind of that. I was about to say. No, that is right. Is the second biggest team in iSCAR.
yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to have anything for that one as this race goes on. I mean, we saw how dominating he was at Atlanta when he won that Cup race. So I guess that one car's got a good thing going with the 1.5 mile tracks here in the Cup Series so far. And if of course, these results hold up, he's well on his way to winning another one.
That'll be the first time we'll see a repeat winner. The Cup Series.
And I don't know if it's been mentioned tonight, but there is a payout for the race winner tonight as well.
That's right.
With it being of course, the longest race of the season, in addition to whoever wins the throwback vote. So a bit of added motivation to try to pick up the win tonight, as whoever does will walk out a bit richer than they were before.
So these two machines, both similar in paint scheme, has some battling right behind. The O2 of Patterson works himself downstairs. That's Liam Sheen in the 77, but man, I love the O2's colors on that scheme.
I think that's Jeff Gordon from
2013,
I believe, yeah.
Yeah, back when he ran the Dega race.
The race Kurt Busch flipped in.
Yeah.
That was a time.
Sheen to the underside a while for this spot. Also got a bit of battling right behind. Frimpong looks like works himself around the 79. William Schmidt. They're still going at it for this position. Wow, it's falling back though.
Yeah, this has been a pretty good battle so far, and reminder that Weil came into tonight the points leader up by 5 on his teammate Nick Miller. And speaking of Nick, he won the pole for tonight, led the first 20 or so laps, but got caught up in that front stretch incident with Hunter Johnson, and now finds himself running in 20th. So a bit of a recovery after being down at around 35th earlier in the race, but still some more work to do for that 95 to get towards the top 10 again.
Here's Hunter Johnson in the number 12.
Good recovery for him, too. He's 2
Yeah,
laps
he's now
down
on the lead lap.
in 18th.
He has fresher tires than everybody else on the racetrack right now. Fortunate
Good
for
job
him,
by both of them.
Yeah, that's right. But unfortunate for him, he still has to work himself through a bundle of more cars to get himself through. Of course, with the fresher tires on this machine, going to easily fly by the 79 of William Schmidt. Onto the low side he goes.
For P17 here on Schmidt, looks like he'll get that spot. Battle for 10th here between DeAndrea and Burgee. Looks like the 028 has gotten that spot for the time being. Lead for Diallo still around a second and a 10th. That hasn't changed a whole lot over the last 5 or so laps. So the 42 running consistently with the 1, but of course needs to run just a bit faster to try to make up that difference.
Get an onboard shot of how it's like to run around this 1.5 quad oval on board with the number 7, the Charlie Byer. Now 33 laps into his run. Works the car right up against the Coca-Cola signs and slowly works himself to the bottom side of the racetrack, right up against the blue line. Usually I like to set my car to the outside of the safety barrier as much as I can, rather than flat arcing it off, but Charlie seems as though he likes running the middle, likes exiting a bit later in turns number 1 and 2. Of course, down the back straightaway, simple part of the racetrack, just going straight. We've seen multiple cars hit the outside wall on the backstretch though, but coming into 3, on that white line right about here is where you want to really let off, or before it. Same situation as in 1 and 2, but except the turn 4 wall sneaks up a bit more than what it does off of turn number 2. Because if you don't really know the layout of Charlotte, track is actually very similar like Darlington. Turns 3 and 4 is tighter than turns 1 and 2. And that's why it's just can't nail down the same corners like what you can on either side of the racetrack. So it's either you're better off in 1 and 2 or you're better off in 3 and 4.
Yeah, and Charlie, of course, definitely knows his way around this track. Won here over the summer in the 87 series when they came here. So that he has won here in iSCAR at this track before. So he's definitely one of those to watch in the remaining 80 laps tonight. He's had a great run so far in 5th after a bit of a disappointing run last night at New Hampshire. So we'll see if he can finish this deal off and get a really, really strong finish for him.
Not only that, he won the truck race here the last time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the year he won that this race and at Las Vegas. Another one of those that's really good at mile and a half, just like Diallo out front. See if he's got something for that 1, but currently looks like 4.2 seconds behind our race leader.
Not a lot of battling on the racetrack, except looks like for this position. All the way back to Aaron Brown. Looks like Aaron's actually a lap down. Ken Azaro, Trey Shuttlesworth, all side by side. As Mitch Hobbs, slower car, unfortunately, because he got caught up in that incident. Yeah, everybody's now into their own rhythm and just running the racetrack. Unless you get side by side with somebody, I don't expect caution. 04, Paul Granada having a nice run. He's currently sitting in 12th spot, duking it out with the 61 of Hunter Rupp. See right behind there, the number 9 of Cody Webster, also a mix of that battle as well, but everybody's just fanning themselves out. I'm looking at the intervals right now. It's either less than or more than a second. Only, looks like 34 cars all on the racetrack in some sort of way. As now we hit 75 laps to go. We're coming up on a fuel window here shortly. The question is, are we going to have a caution to scramble it? And how can Omar Diallo strategize with his final pit stop? Is it going to be enough to make it all the way to the end? The person who's basically on the best strategy as of right now, in my opinion, fuel-wise, at number 12, Hunter Johnson, he could one-stop this race from this point forward. But everybody else, they have to stop at least, probably, maybe two more times.
Yeah, fuel window of around 65 to 70 laps, and there's 74 to go right now. So it'll be really, really close if anyone decides to pit now. But if I were these guys, I'd try to stretch this run as long as possible, and then make it to the end from there.
Williams has only lost a second, or he's slowly gaining back. I'm not sure if he is. Have to see his last lap times. Looks like previous lap of a 30.7 compared to Diallo, who's a 30.8. So Diallo's slowly falling off on this run. That's about a 10th per lap. So do the math. If Diallo is losing a 10th per lap, as long as Cole Williams is consistent with his times, Cole could easily take this lead within the next 20 laps. But that's when the pit window opens.
Yeah, that's when we'll probably start to see some strategy differ out a bit. Yeah, that lead hasn't changed a whole lot over the last 20 or 30 laps. It's been roughly around 1.2 seconds for a good amount of this run. So, I mean, they've been fairly consistent, but again, Cole just needs to run a tad faster than that one in order to get up there again.
Yeah, there's an obvious separation between Cole, Omar, Brody, and Basin. And after that, we start getting into a snake of cars. Looks like Beyer, Sheen, Patterson, Weil, Casey Drake, and Jack DeAndrea. And these two are going to duke it out for this spot. Casey trying to fend out the 028. Frimpong passes the 61 of Hunter Rupp. See right there, the number 9 of Cody Webster. It seems as though he's on fresher tires than everybody else as well.
It's a good battle going here.
That's right. So Webster and Hunter has fresher tires than these people right in front of him. Webster really nowhere to go. Try to work himself and pull a Cole Williams through the grass. And complete the pass though.
Now we saw Cole clip the grass earlier. I think trying to pass, I believe, was Poindexter, and almost got that to where a caution came out before he could complete it. But maybe that little bit of paint where that paint is could potentially be a bit of a help, because we've seen quite a few cars actually do that so far tonight.
I think you get a 1x every time you go through that area, so that's something you don't want to do incident-wise. You'll lose an extra bonus point by clipping the grass. If you finish the race with a 0x, you get an extra bonus point, but you're giving up a point, a potential point to fly through the grass like that.
You gotta have some fairly high confidence, and you won't get caught up in any other wrecks too. Because reminder, if you get a 17, that's a park, or not a park, but a drive-through, and a 22x of disqualification. So if you do that 1x enough, it could add up to 17. But you have to remember that if you're involved in a wreck, that's an instant 4x at least.
All starting to hold back Frimpong. Frimpong's going to have a challenge here, but up in front of this, Joe Berge working himself down low. Chases the 87 up the racetrack.
Way up the hill. About as high as you can go.
Berge gets 10th at the line. Question is, can he clear the 87 in a 1? Looks like he will. So birdie in the 10th.
I don't think Casey was probably too thrilled with being run that high up the track, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to get ran up the track either, like that, as we see a battle here for this 12th spot. The 04 of Paul trying to use the wall to his advantage, but looks like not going to work out for him, and he's going to lose a spot to Frimpong.
Yeah, Frimpong and Granado have both had pretty solid nights, but the 04 I think has been in the top 15 for a lot of the night. 53 just now starting to get up there. But the two of them hovering around, 12th, 13th, not bad runs at all, especially points-wise with the amount of people that actually showed up to the session tonight, which was around 60.
Alright, so looks like 51 laps into this run, or 50-ish laps into this run. What can Omar Diallo do to set him up for these final 50 laps? Do you want a short pit? Or do you even have the option to short pit?
I don't think you do. I mean, with a race like this, it could potentially go to green-white checkers, and you want to have enough fuel to make it for up to 3 of those, which will be probably, if you get all 3 of them, at least 8 or 9 additional laps than what's advertised. So I'd stretch this out as long as possible.
Yeah, and also, in the case of that number 12 and number 9 of Cody Webster and Hunter Johnson, they could run the fuel tank a bit more than everybody else on the field, because they hit pit road. Oh, got a smoking motor. Who is this?
I think that's Peter.
Oh yeah, Peter just trying to log in as many laps. Looks like the motor let go.
Hunter's in. Johnson just pit, I believe.
Yeah, he did. Wow, I'm surprised about that. It is a very, very early pit stop.
He can make it to the end from here, though.
Yeah, that's right, but I'm just very surprised he didn't elect to stretch it all the way, since he had better fuel mileage than everybody else, but I guess he's going to short pit it and see how it goes his way. But Hunter has been cursed with some type of fuel stuff, because every time he tries to pit, a caution comes out.
Yeah, and the last time remember when he pit earlier for tires and fuel, he had the tires unchecked and he had to come down again, but has managed to recover from that fairly nicely and was running, I think, top 20 before he just pit there. But this is where we're going to start to see some strategies play out.
All right, man.
Caution!
Caution is out.
Oh, and not again, Hunter. Oh, as he's making his pit stop, it happens again. How is he this unlucky? Because you got to see what happened here. Peter was obviously on pit. Oh, did he just stop? You can't tell me that's what the caution was for.
No, you saw smoke, right? Right?
Yeah, I did.
Right there.
Did he spin?
I don't think that was for Peter, though.
I don't either. But we gotta get down to look at this. What in the heck happened?
It might have been Peter.
That's kind of a lame caution if that's the case. I mean, looks like if he did spin, it looked like it was localized to the apron, so I don't know why that would necessarily be a yellow. So I would anticipate the entire field comes in now, except for Hunter. And unfortunately for Hunter, he got lapped. And if he had managed to stay on the lead lap when that yellow came out, he could have stayed out and taken the lead, but he'll have to take the wave around instead and start around 28th.
Here we go.
I don't anticipate anyone taking 2.
No, they were too deep into the run.
If this is around 10 to go, I could see people taking 2, but not yet. Too early for that.
And out they
And
go.
Diallo's first off. Looks like the order is pretty much the same. Patterson the 5th, though. I wonder if he just took 2 tires.
Hunter will have to stay out on the racetrack to get another wave around. There he is. He was, I think, lucky dog to William?
I believe Urich. I think Urich got it.
Yeah, that's right, to Urich.
Yeah, another tough pit road break there for Hunter. But that almost worked out, though. Again, if he had managed to somehow be on the lead lap at the yellow, that would have basically handed him the race lead by virtue of not having to pit again. And you see, guys, I think a couple people might be trying to run the apron to try and save as much fuel as possible, even though they're now under the window, because the possibility of green-white checkers always looms in these guys' minds, I'm sure. And you want to have enough fuel for that.
Alright. Go again, so... I think Cole gauged the car right on that long run to even out with Diallo, but of course, when you're 1.1 seconds ahead, or I mean 1.1 seconds behind the leader, you're not going to have a chance to pass, but here's another reset. And we'll see what Diallo could do. I mean what Cole could do off this restart. Of course, for everybody else, good game for them because they were all fanned out. They were all fanned out after that weird front stretch incident. So it's Diallo, Williams, Garner, Basin, Sheen, Patterson, Berge now inside this top 10. Byer and D'Andrea, as well as Casey Drake. There's still, we had 8 cars on the lead lap last season, but there's way more than what we had previous season. Seems as though 30 cars on the lead lap. Here we go. iSCAR will scoot itself onto pit road. For Diallo, he's going to lead the field back to the green. They're stacking up already. Green flag, though, and a lot of 3-wide action as cars scramble left and right. Weil had to hit the grass just to sort of take an evasive maneuver.
Brody for second on Cole already, and he's going to get that spot. Patterson for fourth. Whoa!
Big wiggle as Brody is going to fend down low to pinch out the 42. Oh, Patterson sideways!
No! Patterson gets turned, saved it.
Wow. Cannot believe he saved it, though.
That cost Jack D'Andrea some time down in the 028. He had to slow way down for that, too, though. But what a save by Patterson. That could have been a
All right, man.
huge.
Caution
Oh,
is
now
out.
we have a wreck.
Caution is out.
Oh,
This one
almost
gonna
saved it.
get Shuttlesworth.
Another quick yellow. And now Hunter should get the lead back. Or lead lap.
Oh.
And got the inside wall.
He was already on the lead lap. He took the wave around. He just didn't have fresher
Keplinger again.
tires.
I think Keplinger came down on him a bit. We'll see here.
Oh, well.
I don't know.
That's
think-
that's too close to call. I can't really call that.
I think it was a one went up, one went down thing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. That's one of those wrecks in which I can't really call.
Agreed.
Charlie Byer with the disconnection. I was out of the
Oh
blue.
no! Did he fall through too?
I'm not sure. He disconnected, looks like 2 laps ago.
He had such a good run going too. Top 10 for all night.
Alright, so we'll hit a reset button. Bergie has worked himself in a 6th. Webster now inside this top 10.
Oh, apparently Charlie dropped out of the top 10 under pit stops, and he spun somewhere in Alt F forward, so he didn't collect anybody else.
Oh.
So that's going to be the end of his night, and Frimpong is stopped on the apron. I don't know what the deal there is. But a tough way to end the night for Charlie Byer, who had such a great top 10 run going.
So, yeah, I mean, we've only talked about 2 people this whole entire race. Just about. It's been the Omar Diallo show and Cole Williams show as well. Seems as though Brody Gardner couldn't pass off that restart for that second position. So, we'll have to fight back from 4th rather than 3rd off the restart. Joe Bergie, in the meantime, has worked himself in the 5th.
What I think is interesting, too, is that what I was saying earlier about the fuel strategy, maybe changing how people would approach the race. There's only 51 laps to go, and everyone's pit now, so I think the fuel strategy is totally out of the window at this point in the race.
Right.
So it's going to be even harder now for anyone to try to get by that one to take the win away.
Yeah, basically your only bet to pass that number 1 is probably going to be through pit stops under caution. Got to take 2 or stay out or do something opposite than that number 1 to maybe outduel him strategy wise. But
And again, if we have a caution with about 10 or 15 laps to go, I would fully expect some people to come in and only take 2 tires. Maybe some people be daring enough to just stay out completely.
right.
But if it goes green from here on out, I don't know if anyone's going to get by that one car.
I mean, we
He's
saw
just
it at the New
so
Hampshire
good.
race. Half the field went on a pit road, half the field stayed out. And, of course, those 2 sides collided, and we had a big wreck coming into 1. But, I mean, who knows? It worked out for a while as he stayed himself out, but we're not here on a short track. We're on a 1.5 miler. Who knows how it's going to work? Might work tomorrow, though. Coming out at Martinsville. You can tune in for that Max Speed TV event for the iSCAR The Nice Designs series. Round number 10 as well. Gonna hit the field coming to that.
So 50 to go at the line, 3/4 of the way through tonight's race. Diallo, Williams, Basin, Gardner, and Burgee are top 5 for the restart. Sheen, Drake, White, Frimpong, and Webster round out the top 10. Casey Drake, the very last car to advance from the LCQ, finds himself in 7th. So great run so far for that 87, but can he get into the top 5 before this thing's over?
Here we go. Yeah, gonna hit it. 50 laps to go this time by. All in the hands of that number 1, Diallo. He'll hit the throttle early, and look at that inside line. They fanned out because they did not get going. A lot of cars are gonna file to the inside. One car gets blocked all the way to the white line.
Bit of blocking going on there too. That was interesting.
They're still blocking.
I think Drake may have lost a couple spots on the restart as Webster, and I think that's Miller, as the 95 of Miller has finally gotten back into the top 10 after about 100 laps of running around 25th or so after the trial incident he was in. So now the 95 might be one to watch as this race goes on. Now that he's back up there again, could he potentially get back up towards the top 5, maybe even take the lead back?
Not really sure. All eyes on Cole Williams, though, on how he's going to gun down that number 1. He's sort of stuck in a Basin Racing sandwich. The 08 of Dylan Basin right behind him is now slowly working forward. And here we go for, looks like 7th spot. Parker White, Mark Frimpong, they're going to go at it. Liam Sheen, the one stuck on the bottom.
Yeah, Frimpong slowly but surely made his way through the field tonight. And now in the late stages finds himself in the top 10. Parker White was up there for a lot of the race earlier, but caught up in the second trial incident. Now again, like Nick, finds himself in the top 10 again. So we're starting to see some guys that were dominant early make their way back up there, but do they have enough time to try to get past guys like Omar and Cole?
Frimpong's going to shove himself to the bottom side of Parker. Oh, can't clear for that corner. Bergey's sort of boxed in, really nowhere to go except forward. He's going to get stalled by Frimpong and Sheen. All that pinching that Parker White is doing is really holding everybody right behind up. Webster and Miller really nowhere to go. As a 4-car train toward the front, first time Diallo has really been chased down for this lead. So maybe the 42 might have found something during that long run.
Yeah, this seems to be the first restart we've had in a while where Diallo just didn't immediately pull away from the rest of the field, even though he had control on the restart. So the 42 and the 08 and the 55, they might have something for this one as this run goes on, but they're going to really have to step up their game if they want to get by him, let alone stay with him.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Diallo's already starting to pull away yet again, but Cole Williams has to find on what Omar is doing better through the corner line-wise. Dylan is not letting go of Cole into the corner, and this is going to hiccup 42 even more with pressure from the 08. So Williams is sort of multitasking, trying to get that lead, but sort of fending out Dylan Basin. But unfortunately, he's doing more of fending out Basin than he is catching up to Diallo. So at 42, unless he can make something happen and get Dylan off his rear end, I think Omar might have this lead in the bag.
it's crazy how far back in the field he started. And now that he's been so dominant for so long, started in, looks like, he's at 26th or 28th.
28.
But he's led 95 laps. It's unbelievable how he started that far back and managed to get up there that quickly and it stayed up there for the duration of the night. One of the more dominating performances of this entire season, I think, in all 3 series.
I mean, he dominated Atlanta as well. He once he got up front, it was really hard to pass that number 1, and he ended up winning that race. So here he is, same scenario. Now up front, we're going to lead the rest of the way through, as lots of battling here, as Webster's trying to fend out for this top 10 spot. Casey Drake just about into the outside wall.
Weil and Howe there as well.
Yeah, Weil is not letting go of Miller right now. And that whole inside line is just jammed up. I expect a wreck here off of these 5 cars.
Whoa! Yeah, I think Nick and Weil are clearly faster than Webster, but they just cannot find a way around him, especially with Casey Drake setting up high. So they can't go high to try to make a move unless they can clear Casey first. But for right now, still 2x2 down the backstretch.
Now sort of boxed in. Casey, I think, might have the pass made coming into 3 and 4. Webster's just severe on the low side. Yeah, now he loses the position. So Casey into P9. While sort of trying to follow in pursuit. So Webster's still losing a lot of more time. Wow. Look how much he has to late arc the corner to get to the quarter panel of that 9 and pinch him down. Stall him off the corner enough. Oh! Miller in the outside wall. He comes down on Webster. We're wrecking. Hunter!
Hunter Rupp gets collected, and there's the caution. That was brewing for a couple laps, and it finally happened.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I saw that one from... I saw it coming. It was just a matter on how it would do. It looks like Patterson was making a move down to the bottom. Oh, and Webster tried to come out. And washed right into Nick.
Save it. And then... Oh, and then more contact. How ends up down pit road.
Yeah, what in the world?
Johnson and DeAndre take evasive measures through the grass, but Dominic Howe just drifted it right onto pit road.
Yeah, he got hit onto pit road.
Hopefully that penalty gets cleared.
Yeah, it probably will get cleared, but...
Nice drifting job, though. Wow.
It just pointed the car the right way enough for him to... Oh, I might as well go through pit road. Indeed he did.
Yeah.
Now, if he came in and stopped for tires, that would have been a different story.
Well, yeah. He probably knew that going in, but... Now, 36 laps to go. I wonder if we're going to see people stay out here. I think the leaders are going to pit for tires. But could we see somebody try to stay out with this little of the race left? We'll see.
No, everybody, yeah, you just have to hit pit road in this scenario.
I could see somebody a bit further back maybe stay out, but we'll have to see. I don't know.
RNG is going to play at its finest. What kind of number you're going to get on pit road is going to determine this order. Oh, one car just went straight through.
What the?
That was Bianchini. Use a lap car, though. In and out of pit road they go. Oh, Williams nearly got him at the line.
They were 4 wide out of pit road.
They're still about 3-ish wide off of pit road.
I think Dominic's staying out. I don't even think he's going to pit. I think he's just going to stay out after drifting through pit road like that.
Yeah, maybe pick up a couple bonus points. Or,
This could be an interesting strategy call. I don't know how long he can actually stay out, though. But this could present an interesting twist, because even if Dominic falls back... Okay, no, this is... Okay, that's not even... Okay, yep, nope. Everything I was going to say is no longer relevant as he's going to pit, so... I mean, if he did decide to stay out though for the restart, it would have taken the control car position away from Diallo, which could have opened up a window for Cole or Dillon. But of course, now a non-issue with the 86 hitting pit road. But again, you mentioned it, still a bonus point, of course, for leading a lap.
So I think that's another set of tires that these drivers used. So you only have 2 more sets from this point forward. So gotta strategize with 2 sets for 35 laps. And I'd say we'll definitely see some split strategies now, since these cautions are just coming out at a good enough time for drivers to hit pit road.
As you've made it past midnight here on the East Coast, so a 2-day long race here at Charlotte. We'll see if Diallo can hold off for the last little bit, though.
Alright, 1 lap to go. So less than 50 laps to go now for anything to happen, and a lot could happen within 35 laps. You could see a lot of cautions within those final 37, 35-ish laps. All right. Not a lot to be really said. Only, looks like Berge has fallen outside this top 10. And, Hunter Johnson has worked himself in 10th. Or now, he sits in 11th, but... Here we go. iSCAR is in. Omar stacks up the field. We go anyway.
Green flag.
The 77 of Liam Sheen got a great restart, but can't take it anywhere. He's boxed in.
And thus, Diallo will hold the lead, and actually he's going to pull away fairly quickly. But here comes Basin. Now this is for second, and looks like Williams is going to lose third to Frimpong as well. So this restart, not the one the 42 was looking for, as he will now drop back into fourth, but he'll have another run up high now with help from Brody, as Frimpong did not get a good turn 3 entrance, and Sheen saves it, but he's got to go through the grass.
Gets back onto the racing surface. Cole wants to fight for the second spot again.
I think there was a second car that went through the grass as well.
Yeah, Sheen got sideways off the corner and really couldn't do much. Might have been Zach Corbett, but here we go. Basin has worked himself to the backside of Diallo. 2 Basin racing cars going to duke it out for this top spot. What can Basin do? Oh! Parker's around! Oh, he nearly hit the pit barrels!
That's the second time we've almost had a car hit those barrels tonight, and he spins out on the front stretch, and unfortunately for that 095, that will not trigger a caution, so his good run quickly ends just like that. Yeah, Webster came close earlier, and we just saw Dominic drift through pit road, and now Parker White almost hits him, so a couple really close calls with those pit barrels tonight.
Basin's not letting go of that number 1.
First real challenge Yellow's had in quite a bit tonight. But you see he's already starting to pull that gap a bit more already. Side by side for third, Frimpong and Gardner out of turn 2. Could be a battle to watch over the next couple of laps. And this field is already spread out really quickly as the more damaged cars start to make their way, I guess, further towards the back, at least depending on the severity of the damage. Howe, Bachman, Webster, Shuttlesworth, all under a blanket with Kepling here, so a good 5-6 cars, all within relatively little proximity to each other. And actually more cars than that. There's like 8 or 9 all in this little pack.
Now this one being led by Aaron Brown in the 151, but it seems as though they get themselves in a nice situation. Basin, though, oh boy, he's there. He might have a shot coming into 1. What can you do?
Bason's been able to stay with him.
Here he goes.
He's got a shot, and
Oh!
what a pinch by Diallo to keep the lead. And you see that white car, don't know who that is, but that car right there could play a role as this thing goes on. If these two catch up to them, one of them could set a pick with that car to try to pull away from the other. That might be Parker White, but I'm not honestly sure.
That was Nick Miller, actually, the other 95, but here we go. Basin. Oh, he might shove it to the high side and try the other way. Oh, wow, what a move. Can he get it? Can he get the run off the corner, though? He's there.
And they're still side by side in the 3, but again, they're coming up on Miller. So hopefully for Basin, he doesn't catch that 95 at a bad time. And now they're going to get him, I think, before turn 1.
Oh!
Oh, big block.
Omar's doing all he can to block for that top spot.
And now Basin has to go back down to the low side, so he doesn't, of course, run into his teammate there. Cole Williams looks like he just caught the 95 at a bad time, and he'll have to swing it down low to get by him now. You see all the damage to that pole sitter 95 car, who's been involved in a couple different incidents tonight. Not the night he was looking for, of course, coming into tonight, second in points. And with William Schmidt running in 10th, I don't know if he's going to finish second in points after tonight.
Basin hit the apron, so that's going to lose him some time right there. Looks like Frimpong catches Nick at a bad time.
Great run for Frimpong, still in the top 5 after getting there a bit earlier. We'll see if he can stay there over the next 24 laps. But we're starting to finally hit the closing point of the race in what's been quite a lengthy night here at Charlotte. Of course, we went live around 9:45, so we're working on 2.5 hours since the broadcast started. So a bit of a long night as Frimpong has some braking issues. Hopefully that's not a disconnection. Or hopefully he doesn't fall through. But we're almost at the end here with under 25 to go. And if we have another yellow after this, it's really going to throw a wrench into this.
Yeah, it looks like Basin used up all his stuff to get to to at least try to pass for that top spot. Unless he's laying back, maybe to save a bit of tire, but if you want to make a charge now's the time. And based on how those first restart laps went, Basin really used up his stuff to try to pass Omar, and Omar did a great deal of pinching.
Did everything he had to. Yeah, that was the first real challenge Omar's had since he took the lead away. But he was able to fend it off from his team owner. Battle further back, that's Carson and DeAndrea. This right here is Paul Granada. I believe he's in 11th. I don't think Ken Azzaro's on the lead lap. I could be mistaken, though.
He is?
Oh, he is. Oh, 13th. Pretty decent recovery from the 2 wrecks he's already been in tonight. And he's going to run here into 1 on Granada. This could pass for 12th if he can complete it.
Granada holding up stride. Holding up high.
Pretty decent run for the LCQ winner tonight. But still a little ways back before you try to get into the top 10. The last car of which currently William Schmidt in the 79, who is 3rd in points coming into tonight's race. Aaron Brown, Jack DeAndrea there. But back up front, that lead for Diallo up to a second. So that bobble by Basin by hitting the apron definitely cost him dearly. And in fact, it just cost him second place, as the 42 of Cole Williams has retaken that spot. And he's starting to pull away now from the 08. But with only 20 to go, I just don't know if anyone's going to be able to catch that number 1 before the night's over.
Yeah, that's right. If a caution comes out now, everybody's going to hit pit road. But if a caution comes out around, I'd say, 15 laps to go, or maybe 10 laps to go, I'd say you're going to see half and half. People hit pit road or not hit pit road, so just a question on who.
And the difference of strategies, if that were to happen, could either be, beneficial for the guys that stay out, or it could end up creating a massive wreck. And we've seen it go both ways. So that would definitely be something to watch as this goes on. And speaking of something to watch, got a great battle going here. This is 12th through 15th, as Cannizzaro has finally gotten by Paul Granada, and now he's under attack from DeAndrea and Dominic Howe. So the 04 starting to trend in the wrong direction here in the late going, as he's going to drop 2 spots and potentially 3 if the 028 can get a good enough run on him.
Oh, looks like Dominic hit the apron. DeAndrea is going to have a run right behind the 86. Can't take it anywhere, though.
Yeah, Dominic would keep that spot, but that allows the 74 to get a bit of breathing room as he pulls away a bit from these 3.
Oh, Webster with an issue.
I think he may have just hit pit road.
Yeah, he recently did hit pit road, so in and out he goes.
Casey Drake running in 8th after being the final car to advance from the LCQ. Great run for him. Hunter Johnson's had a pretty up and down night, was running top 5 when that travel incident happened, and then had to pit twice because he forgot to check the tires. But despite all of that, finds himself in the top 10 and trying to pass Casey for 8th. So really, really good job by Hunter to overcome that adversity and get himself another top 10 run here so far.
Orbit sitting outside this top 10, chasing down the 79 of William Schmidt. Nice run by him after that bit of contact off of turn number 4. Got him a bit of damage. Zach seems
15
as
to
though
go.
he might go full-time in this league. I'm not really sure. 15 laps to go, correct?
Yep. So at this point in the race, again, if the yellow comes out, there's definitely going to be some people that roll the dice and stay out. And it wouldn't shock me either if, we see somebody like Diallo maybe fake pit, or maybe try to pull somebody down pit road with him, or maybe fake someone out. We saw that happen, of course, in the real-life Coca-Cola 600 this year, or not this year, last year now, when Chase Elliott was leading that race coming to the finish line, and when that caution came out, he pit, and everyone else stayed out and then ended up losing the race. So that could be something that these guys have to keep in mind. Maybe not that specific example, but that could potentially happen. So even though Diallo is out there by almost a second on second place, anything could happen further back in this pack that could just throw a wrench into everything they've planned for and done this whole race.
Yeah, now it's just hold your breath for 12 laps as, oh my gosh, Cole is flirting with the outside wall. But yeah, it's just 12 laps on getting yourself clean. And 12 laps is a lot, so anything could happen within these 12 laps. That's 12 chances for a caution to come out. Now 11.
Battle here. Dominic has caught the 74 of Cannizzaro, and it looks like DeAndrea passed him as well. So Cannizzaro had gotten by all 3 of these cars and then lost all the spots back. So maybe he must have gotten loose somewhere or something happened. And Dominic washes up again. But that's, I believe, for 11th.
Aaron
Oh, no,
Brown.
yeah, Dominic just caught him. further back, here's Poindexter running around 15th. He was top 5 for the first half of the race and got caught up in trial of incident 3 and is now finally starting to slowly claw his way back. But with only 10 laps to go, time is running out for him to try to gain more spots back. It's probably going to take another caution for him to try to get back in the top 10.
Miller moving high for these leaders of William Schmidt and Zach Corbett running 10th and 11th. Zach trying to log in a top 10.
Yeah, and Schmidt's going to pass Nick for second in points tonight as well.
Oh, that's right.
I believe only 5 separates Chris and Nick, but I think there's only 7 or something like that between William and Nick. It's going to be really close, but I think that 79 is going to take over second place. So good run for him as he runs 10th place with just 8 laps remaining here at Charlotte. Yellow's lead over a second now on Williams, still fluctuating around a second, give or take a tenth or so. But there's little to no time left for that fortitude to try to mount the charge on that one. And again, it's going to really take, I think, a yellow and probably some altering fuel strategy, or not fuel strategy, but pit strategy, if anyone's going to take that one car down.
See this big gaggle of cars around where Garrett Hess is. This is 17th through 23rd. All within their own battle. Webster being a part of that. Frimpong is now into 4th, but here's your leader. At number 1 of Omar Diallo. Now 6 laps to go.
Started in 28th place and has managed to lead the most laps out of everybody despite starting that far back in the field. And of course, with only 6 laps to go, has clinched the bonus point for the most laps led tonight as well. So an absolutely dominating performance for that one so far tonight.
I'm not expecting anybody to be over-aggressive to cause a wreck now because we're already on to the next day, and I expect everybody just to, on set, to get this race over with.
Yeah, at this point you just want to, I mean, for lack of a better term, at this point you just want to get out of here. And it's almost 12:30 a.m. on the East Coast. As one car hits the wall, that's Basin from third. But yeah, at this point, it's already really late at night. I mean, these guys just want to get this thing over with and, go to bed or do whatever else they want to do. So only 4 laps to go for Diallo, and I think even though I think Cole Williams and Basin will be better served in terms of trying to win if a yellow came out, I highly doubt they even want one now with how late it is.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, heck, I'm getting a bit tired up here with how late it is, but it's been a really fun race, though. We've seen some really fierce battles and different things go on, and just a handful more laps to decide who ends up winning it. But I think, depending on, or as long as nothing crazy happens, I think we might know who that is already.
3 laps to go at the line for Omar Diallo.
And this is not the first time he's dominated a 1.5 mile cup race. Of course, one at Atlanta around a month or so ago, and I believe led over half the laps in that race as well. 2 to go this time, and what he could also do tonight is become the first person to repeat as a cup winner this season. You've had 9 different winners in 9 races, and Diallo trying to become the first one to reach 2 wins. And just has 1.5 laps more to try and do it.
Not only that, he actually is going to go 2 in a row. He won the race at Atlanta a couple weeks ago. So, for Omar Diallo in that number 1 machine.
Oh yeah, 2 cup races in a row. You're right, yeah.
Wasn't a month ago.
Yeah, the Christmas break made it seem longer than that. White flag out here at Charlotte. The final 1.5 miles of this 300-mile event. The longest race of the iSCAR winter season, and Omar Diallo has done everything right tonight to put himself in a position to take the checkered flag, and with just 2 more turns to navigate, he's got it made. And coming out of turn 4, Omar Diallo in that number 1 machine picks up his 2nd consecutive Cup Series win and takes the money and the win here tonight at Charlotte.
You could technically say it's been a whole year.
God.
Congratulations to that number 1 of Omar Diallo. He wins here tonight at Charlotte. And drivers crossing the start-finish line to get themselves through.
What a run for Frimpong there in 4th. Great job for him. Williams in 2nd, Bass in 3rd. There's Brody in 5th. I am curious though, is this the latest an iSCAR race has ever ended? Like, have we ever raced this late at night before?
Yeah, we have. Street Stocks at USA. That lasted to that was a very long race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Omar will burn it down here at Charlotte after 200 laps, 300 miles, and just about 3 hours. But the unofficial results here: Omar Diallo, your winner here tonight. Cole Williams in 2nd, Dylan Bass in 3rd. Great run for Frimpong in 4th. Brody Gardner 5th. And rounding out your top 10, Liam Sheen, Christopher Weil, Hunter Johnson, Casey Drake, and Jack DeAndrea. Good run for him, too.
William Schmidt, Zach Corbett, Dominic Howe, and John Canizaro. Aaron Brown round out the top 15. Paul Granado, Trey Shulsworth, Carson Poindexter, Garrett Hess, and Josh Patterson round out the rest of the top 20.
Eric Keblinger in his first iSCAR race in a while gets 21st. David Bachman there in 22nd, but he'll lose ground to Casey Drake there in the championship. Joe Burgee 23rd, Parker White 24th, Max Zurich 25th. Nick Miller, after winning the pole, ends up the first car lap down in 26th. Rounding out the top 30, Cody Webster, Michael Bianchini, Corey Long, and Hunter Rupp in the 61.
Mitch Hobbs, Charlie Bauer, Blaze McKinney, Connor Brandon after his disconnection, unfortunately. Glenn Bundren, Michael Rosero, Colton Zimmer, Shane DeMantova, Peter Kenny, Luke LaFaro round out the top 40. The rest of the order: Frank DeAngelis, Tajman, and Justin Johnson in 43rd. We'll be right back right after this for Omar Diallo and that number 1, a big W here tonight. But we'll go ahead.
Victory lap.
Yeah, that's right. Saluting the late Alan Kowicki. And that number 1 will take it to victory lane here tonight. But there's still more to come. We'll go ahead and interview out the top 3 from tonight.
Dale Earnhardt, defending champion, a man who has won here at this racetrack. He has been absolutely second to none in 1987.
Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win, his 4th win of 1987 out of 6. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Everyone's wondering what can stop Dale Earnhardt. He's on a roll, 4 wins and 6 starts. I mean, is there anybody can handle you?
There may be a little more here underneath the sheet metal.
Well, I'm sure this afternoon we'll know a lot more, and we've got 500 miles to run. We'll see what happens.
Good luck today.
A magnificent 19th annual $500,000 Talladega 500 is won by Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott, and the siren is beginning to ring. You'll probably hear it in Dahlonega. Bill Elliott has won. Davey Allison.
Elliott now getting a challenge from Tim Richmond, but he closes again right in behind Earnhardt, coming down off turn 4. And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back, and Elliott goes inside. And Earnhardt still got the lead. Incredible. Decent driving by Earnhardt. 7 laps to go. Earnhardt went on the grass.
Dale Earnhardt is reminding Mr. Elliott, you make one mess up like that, and I might get through.
When you come to North Wilkesboro on a short racetrack, you expect some fender to fender and even some paint trading going on out there. We've seen it already as Brett Bodine gave Jerry Cranmer a nudge in the rear end, and now we're seeing some great competition out there between
And we welcome everybody back here live for the iSCAR post-race event. So we're going to go ahead and drag in our interviewees here for tonight. Into the booth goes that number 1 of Omar Diallo. Already into the next day, and might as well just get into it here for tonight. And Diallo picking up his third win of the season, his second in the Cup Series. Tonight also going 2 in a row, as well as picking up $20. So a lot of benefits to that number 1 of Omar Diallo, finishing on where he deserves. Omar, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do. So,
Omar, you led 136 laps, totally dominated the competition, and had very, very little challenge. What just made the difference between you and the rest of the field?
everyone was arcing the corner a lot, and I had a line where I could go in super shallow and keep speed, so the dirty air didn't really affect me when I was coming through the field. And then once I was out on clean air, it was over.
Yep, that was right. And of course, no late race restarts or no late race shenanigans dotting this one. Had a clean shot all the way to the start finish line, and no fuel situation really didn't play a factor either with the amount of cautions that came out here tonight. So overall, how was the car for you and your whole entire crew?
It was a little tight. It was really, really tight, especially when you came up on a lap car. But Basin Racing, man, they gave me a nice piece today. Nice piece. It was digging. And we're $20 richer.
That is right. Omar's going to walk out of Charlotte with a bit of cash on his hand here tonight. Congratulations, Omar, and your whole entire crew. But before we let you go, any special want to thank you for tonight?
I want to thank Basin Racing. I also want to plug my Twitch, Omar Diallo _. We will try to stream every once a month. But yeah.
All right, bud. 10-4 Omar Diallo, and that number 1 rounds himself out in victory lane with the second victory of the season. We'll go ahead and see you come to your next race, bud.
Thanks. See ya.
Diallo will move up 6 positions into 22nd, but still far a ways away from that 13th spot.
Yeah, still some work to do, but now we'll drag in the runner-up here tonight, Cole Williams in the 42. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, you had a really good car out there tonight. Ran top 5, top 10 for the duration of the night, but did you think you had anything for Omar, or do you think he was just in the league of his own tonight?
Yeah, man, it's a good whole Omar. He probably was not going to be able to challenge him today. There's just so much dirty air, especially if you were to get close to him. I was kind of surprised Dylan was able to put up at least a little bit of a fight, but that probably gave me the P2 after he had to burn his right front off a little bit. But nah, he was pretty far gone. But this is reminded me a lot of Atlanta, where we have a green flag stop, and I threw it all away from maybe a secured, for sure a secured P2, possibly the win. And I threw it away on the pit stops there, but thankfully we didn't have to do any green flag stops here. But it was actually a fun second half, getting some green runs in. It's always fun running, trying to save your tires, as well as driving the cars. I feel like after the build, this car I feel like it just drives more. You got to drive it harder. It's a little bit more like the B car, but also the aero side of it has gotten worse, on top of not having multi-group racing. So it's gotten a little bit difficult to pass, but nonetheless it's still fun when you get in your own little bubble there, and then you're just running lap after lap.
Yeah, P2, nothing to be ashamed of course, and you move up 2 spots in the points, and you rock out of here 5th in the point standing. So what are you looking forward to, or what are you going to have to do to try to get yourself perhaps a championship here as the Cup Series rolls on closer to the chase?
Yeah, man, was for sure cannot have anything catastrophic happen at the next few tracks. I know Talladega's coming up, I think, next week. Usually I do stay in my own lane, kind of just chill basically those entire races, and just bring home top 10s and try to survive those, so I should be fine. But just try not to have anything catastrophic happen to the point where we lose like 50 points in the last 3 races or 2 races and maybe fall out. But yeah, I think I was just looking at it right now. Chilling P5 in points with a 25-point penalty for swerving for 3 seconds earlier in the season was definitely nothing to be ashamed of. Just trying to bring home the best results we can, try to bring up some momentum. And then from there, just knowing that guys like Omar are likely not going to be contending for the championship. So knowing who we're racing is going to be another big part. And there's definitely some good guys in there, like some of the SBM guys. like Chris and them. So it'll be fun to watch for as we chase on championship in all 3 of these series.
Yeah, interesting strategy to have there. Even though you didn't win the race, you may have won your own total points battle. So good perspective to have from what was a great night for you. But before we let you go tonight, any sponsors or people you want to thank here for tonight's race?
I just want to thank everyone at Media Racing once again. Glenn Bunder, I know he was in this race. Jack DeAndrea finally making another start. It was good to see him out there. Shout out to Eli for making my parent. I was actually encouraged making my cut paints out. Shout out to him. Shout out to South Energy, Pella Gaming, of course, these custom diecast for being on the car, being awesome once again, and just happy to bring home the Speed 2. It's definitely some that will definitely get some momentum going, especially at a track, where we finally get long runs and look where we ended up. So it's just fun to finally get down and get some long run racing and saving the tires.
All right, Cole Williams, your runner-up here tonight at Charlotte. Hope to see you back here for the rest of the weekend and the season.
Thank you, man.
Dylan Basin is not in the booth. You had something to say, Dewey?
I was going to say Dylan unable to do an interview, so I guess we'll move ourselves to 4th place. Mark Frimpong in the 53 will drag him up in here and see what he's got to say about one of his best runs ever here at iSCAR.
Yeah, he runs himself out 4th. Really didn't have a say in that first half of the race, but once it started kicking out for the long runs, it started to favor him. Mark Frimpong, you got a copy?
Yes, I did.
Frimpong, you find yourself out here in the 4th position. You were outside of that top 10 before lap 100, but once you started getting those long runs onto your favor, things started looking for the better for you, and you run yourself out 4th here for tonight. So congratulations. Talk to me about your run.
Yeah, thank you. It was a bit of a long race. I qualified in with no practice, so I qualified really far back, near like 30, deep 30s, like I think 37th. And then I pit started, and I got lapped because I came out of the pits late on my pit start. And I got the caution from the early wreck on like lap 20. I was really fortunate to catch that because that kept me from being stuck a lap down. And then after that, it was just hoping for long runs and passing cars. And I did get a speeding penalty somewhere midway through the race, but I was able to drive back up through the field.
Yep, that's right. And you find yourself in 4th here for the night. You didn't lead any laps, though. Omar was on his own zip code by the end of it. But for you and that whole entire team, finishing 4th out here for tonight will, I think, will bring you 18th in points. So you're relatively close to that. I'd say 50 points out of that 13th spot. So what are you looking forward to coming for these next few races, especially like a track like Talladega coming up next week?
Dega, I'm probably just going to run up front, try to lead laps. I feel safer up front at plate tracks, so I'm going to try to just lead as many laps as possible and bring home the win, and hopefully that'll get me a lot of points. I still think I can make the playoffs. There's a lot of gap to make up, but I don't think it's impossible yet.
All right, we'll just have to find out how the next few weeks will shape out to that number 53's favor. Congratulations on our 4th place finish, but before we let you go, any sponsors want to thank you for tonight?
I'd like to thank, first off, Charlie. Charlie got a little sideways in front of me, and he Alt F4 before he got me collected in, so this would not have been possible if he didn't Alt F4, so shout out Charlie for doing that. But yeah, I'd like to thank Austin for making the paint scheme. He's making my paint schemes for the whole weekend, so he's been doing a really good job with those. I'll run another one of his paint schemes tomorrow, hopefully get another interview in it. And BHR, Brinkley Hefner Racing, those guys, try really hard to bring good cars every weekend, so another good finish for them. Try to carry it into tomorrow.
All right, about 10-4. Mark Frimpong, the 4th place here tonight at Charlotte, rounds himself out 18th in points. We'll go ahead and see you coming to your next race, bud.
All right, thank you.
And that was Mark Frimpong, any number 53, and that will round out interviews here for tonight. Congratulations to the number 1 machine of the Omar Diallo Toyota Camry Tundra. I was about to say Toyota Tundra, but never mind that. Thank you all for tuning in here for tonight's long event. iSCAR RaceLab's Cup Series rounds itself out here at Charlotte. Dewey, any last words?
Well, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it was a very long night, about 3 hours now on the broadcast, but it was all worth it. Pretty good race we had, a lot of side-by-side, some interesting wrecks, like, one guy going like 100 feet into the air, but we had pretty much a dose of everything here tonight at Charlotte, and Omar Diallo ends up the one with $20 and a race win. So congratulations once again to him on a job well done. We'll see you back here tomorrow night for the Xfinity cars at Martinsville. That should certainly be interesting. And actually, not tomorrow night, later tonight, we'll see you at Martinsville. Right. But for Ezeckiel Reyes, I'm Dewey Schramm. Thanks for watching.